All right, finally. What's going on? We are back. Ooh, we'll be firing up Fallout probably again later on. That was an all right run. I only died, what, 6 times? 5 times? I'm probably over exaggerating. We're gonna say three or 4 times. But we're gonna hop into this. Looks like Trump was signing some executive orders. It is time for us to catch up on the news. I have been slacking on it for sure. Boom, boom. And while I'm here, might as well fix up the chat. Everything's set up. I was definitely not supposed to be on this long tonight, but shit happens. All right, very good. Well, let's hop into it.
Well, thank you very much. We've had some very, really good talks today on Gaza with both the Middle East representatives and kings and all of the top leaders in the Middle East. And we had also a very good conversation with Bibi Netanyahu, trying to get the hostages back, and we're trying to get the end of the Gaza situation. It's really bad, very bad. And we think it could happen. Maybe it could happen pretty soon. We want the hostages back. We want the bodies back. And we want to have peace in that region. So we had some very good talks. As you know, I had President Erdogan here, Turkey, and we had a great meeting today. I think we had a meeting that was very conclusive in so many different things that we wanted, things that he wanted, and that was good. We'll be announcing that sometime later. And he'll be making an announcement too, but we had a great meeting with Turkey, and they're a very respected president, and spent time. We had lunch, and we had a lot of good discussions. So those two things, and we have some executive orders today to sign that are very important for the country. And we'll start off with one that's a proclamation, and
yes, sir.
Want to do that, Will?
Yes, sir. So today is Gold Star Mothers and Families Day. This is an annual proclamation. This is to commemorate the fallen, those who have died for all of our freedoms and for our country, and for their families who have suffered such grievous losses. But this is a proclamation commemorating Gold Star Mothers and Gold Star families.
Yeah, and they're great people. Incredible people, what they've had to go through. Very few people could have gone through this kind of thing. Gold Star. Okay, thank you very much. He'll put it over here, Steve.
Next, sir, we have an executive order on TikTok. From the first days of your administration, you've charged a team from your administration, led by Vice President Vance, with ensuring that we can preserve TikTok as a platform for the 170 million Americans who use it, right, while ensuring that their data is properly protected as required by law. With this executive order, you will be effectively bringing into effect the agreement that will save TikTok and ensure that it can operate safely and securely.
So this is interesting because I had a very good talk with President Xi, a lot of respect for him. Hopefully he has a lot of respect for me too. And we talked about TikTok and other things, but we talked about TikTok, and he gave us the go-ahead. You know, it's run by American investors and American companies, great ones, great investors, the biggest. You don't get bigger, I don't imagine. And maybe I'll have JD. JD was very much involved and in charge of it. And maybe I'll have you say a few words about the deal. He would report back, and the points of the deal, I think, are great for our country. So, JD, do you want to give it a little talk, please?
Yes, sir. Yeah. So thank you, sir, for your leadership and for your help. We really couldn't have done this without the president actually ushering this deal over the finish line. There was some resistance on the Chinese side, but the fundamental thing that we wanted to accomplish is that we wanted to keep TikTok operating, but we also wanted to make sure that we protected Americans' data privacy as required by law, both because it's the right thing to do, but also because it's a legal requirement of the law that was passed last year by Congress. So we think that we were able to do that. Of course, we're going to keep on working at it, but this deal really does mean that Americans can use TikTok, but actually use it with more confidence than they had in the past, because their data is going to be secure and it's not going to be used as a propaganda weapon against our fellow citizens. We're very excited about it. We appreciate the cooperation of everybody involved, and it's a big day.
And I think I can say that especially the young people, they really wanted this to happen. They did not want to have TikTok close. And I got, a little used to TikTok. I used it myself during the campaign, and it was very successful because you know how I did with the young voter. And Charlie helped me a lot too. And he said to me, you should go on TikTok. And it actually had, because we got record votes with the young voter, as you know, for the election. So I was a little bit prejudiced in that way toward TikTok. It was very good and very meaningful. But we have American investors taking it over, running it, highly sophisticated, including Larry Ellison. And Oracle, I guess, is going to play a very big role in terms of security, safety, and everything else. So we have very good controls. And literally, I would get a call from friends of mine who were fathers of young people say, could you do me a favor? Could you get it approved, please? My son is driving me crazy. So we're getting it done, and they have a big audience, and we have great American investors. And here's your final copy.
Appreciate you, Maja.
Maybe if you want, we could take a couple of questions on TikTok, and then we're going to get onto something completely different. Okay? Yeah.
Mr. President,
Jeff?
Mr. Vice President, you mentioned that China was resistant. Can you describe where China is now? Are they fully on board with this?
They're
or
on
is
board.
there anything more?
I spoke with President Xi. We had a good talk. I told him what we were doing, and he said, go ahead with it.
On the algorithm, it's still being leased coming from China. Are you satisfied that there's no security concerns for the
Yeah,
U.S.
I
that
am. I really am.
it would push disruptive?
The biggest
content?
reason is that it's owned by Americans. It's and very sophisticated Americans and people that love the country, and very smart Americans too. So they don't want anything like that to happen. Yes, please.
Thank you. Is there any operational relationship with Chinese entities or staff to execute the deal?
With who?
With the Chinese?
I don't think so. Not that I know. No, this is going to be American operated all the way. And great respect for President Xi, and I very much appreciate that he approved the deal, because to get it done properly, we really needed the support of China and the approval of China. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. President, now that Americans will have operational control, do you want to see the algorithm suggest more MAGA-related content prioritized?
I always like MAGA-related. If I could, I'd make it 100% MAGA-related.
Yikes.
It's actually a good question, but I would, yeah, if I could make it 100% MAGA, I would, but it's not going to work out that way, unfortunately. No, everyone's going to be treated fairly. Every group, every philosophy, every policy will be treated very fairly. Thank you.
Mr. President, do you know the valuation? Do you know the American company is going to be valued in billions?
Well, they valued it very highly. They're paying a big number. Do you want to talk, Scott? Do you want to say something about value?
Well, I'll let the Vice President, and then I can follow
And
up.
you'll say something.
Sure. Well, first of all, I would say all credit goes to the Secretary of the Treasury. Couldn't have got it done without Scott. Also couldn't have got it done without Sean Cooksey on my team, so thanks to them. The company will be valued around $14 billion. We actually think this is a good deal for investors, but ultimately the investors are going to make the determination about what they want to invest in and what they think is a proper value. The most important thing is that it does protect Americans' data security. It ensures TikTok is still accessible. And on this question of the algorithm, which we've heard this a lot, what this deal ensures is that the American entity and the American investors will actually control the algorithm.
Wait, doesn't 14 billion sound kind of small? Am I crazy?
Don't want this used as a propaganda tool by any foreign government. We want to make sure that our people and our investors actually make these decisions based on what's good for their business as opposed to what's good for another government's propaganda arm. So that's what we've done with this deal. I think it's very good for the American people. And as the President said, young people love this. We actually want everybody to access this, whether they're MAGA or not. We just want it to be fair. We want it to be fair to everybody, and we think that's what's going to happen with this new arrangement.
Well, the U.S. government...
And just to follow up on the Vice President, there were two pieces to the transaction. The Vice President's office has worked since the spring for the commercial transaction between the investor groups, and then Treasury and a group including the Vice President's office were in Madrid 2 weeks ago to negotiate with the Chinese, and it was a result of President Trump's close relationship with...
Oh, okay, so you say, yeah, Elon overpaid for Twitter, 44 billion, plus we're taking a half of the stake, and China still has ownership. I believe China still owns 15%. I don't know why, it just still sounds like a small amount.
We created a framework for Party Chair Xi to agree, and then on the leaders' call, Xi and President Trump discussed the final arrangement. So it was 1-2, and that was the final piece.
Will the U.S. government get any kind of annual payment as a result of this deal?
Taxes. It's going to make money, and we're going to get a lot of money in taxes. And you know, China wanted to see this go. This is a great.
I'm not gonna lie, yeah, Stephanie, you're saying, so does that give them access to our personal information? I was thinking when they talk about, oh well, it's safe for Americans now. Really, what they're saying is, well, now the U.S. government is the one controlling the back door instead of China controlling the back door. Like somebody has a back door at the end of the day. I guess it might as well be us, right?
Legacy for China too. I thought,
of course, that's just my opinion, but
President Xi was great in terms of his approval. We probably could have done it a different way, but it wouldn't have been the same. Wouldn't have been the same security at all. But I appreciated that he approved it.
So nothing aside from taxes. There's no part of the deal that is like a payment to the U.S. government.
Well, we're going to be announcing different things, but the U.S. comes out great. And I think China comes out great because they're going to have a very important legacy. And they have many other deals. You know, they have deals with us, and they have deals in here in this country. And, you know, they want to be treated fairly also.
So, Mr. President and Mr. Vice President, the U.S. company could change the algorithm to push different content? Is that...
The U.S. company will have control over how the algorithm pushes content to users, and that was a very important part of it. We thought it was necessary for the national security element of the law. We also just think it's important to protect American users. Again, we want users to use this platform the way they want to. We want the business to make decisions about content based on the interests of the business and based on the interests of the users, and that's what we think will happen with this new arrangement.
And they're paying a lot of money, and I think hopefully it's going to be a great deal. They're very sophisticated people. You'll see a list. Have you seen a list yet of the people? Well, you've been reading about it. I know Michael Dell's involved, and Rupert Murdoch's involved, and a lot of, and let's see, we have probably 4 or 5 absolutely world-class investors that love the country. They made a lot of money with the country, and many of them are in a somewhat related business, so it works out pretty well. And they're going to be very careful about all of these questions that you've been asking.
Who else beyond Dell and Murdoch?
Well, it's a blue chip group of investors, and we'll be announcing more about who exactly is involved in the deal in the days to come.
Oracle's playing a very big part.
That's right, sir.
And Oracle really understands this. And I think they're actually, and they've been involved for quite a while running it for the people, the previous people. And so it's really, I think it's going to be very well protected. Very, very prestigious deal, actually.
On that point, Mr. President, as the President said, Oracle has actually had a role in housing the data for a long time, even when the entity was controlled by the ByteDance organization in China. So Oracle had a pretty interesting perspective on what was necessary.
Yeah, I think just this part is about TikTok. He said he was going to take questions on TikTok and then continue on to other stuff.
To actually create true data privacy protections.
And I see y'all saying release the files. I saw a couple weeks ago, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, weren't the victims coming out with their own list? I had seen something on that, but I haven't heard anything on it.
For Americans, they were a very important part of getting this thing done.
Mr. President, you told us a couple weeks ago you thought that the security concerns were overrated, but were there legitimate concerns when it comes to safety?
From my standpoint, no, because the people that own it are, you know, they're not China-centric, they're USA-centric, and they're very smart people. I guess you could say it about everything. Everything is what's secure nowadays. Things that you think are totally secure turn out to not to be. But I think in this case, it's going to be as secure as you can be because of the ownership and the people. And they have a big investment. You know, it's to their advantage to make sure it's good and safe. Yeah. Anybody else? Do you have a question? No, behind you.
Well, I just want to say, do you think this move and getting this deal done, Mr. President, do you think this honors the legacy, like Charlie Kirk mentioned, that he specifically pushed you to get involved with TikTok in the campaign, helped you win note voters. Do you think this deal honors him?
Well, I think it's a good thing. It's a good sign. We're doing very well, as you know, with the trade deals. We're doing very well with China, and a lot of them. We were never treated properly. We were for 4 years, actually, but we were never treated very properly by other countries, and we're doing well. We've never done this well. We have, because of the tariffs that are coming in, the deals that are being made, $950 billion in one case, $950 billion, where previously they paid nothing. We have, as you know, in Japan it's $550 billion, South Korea is $350 billion now. That's up front. And one of the things I can say, I announced it lightly before, but we're taking in tremendous amounts of money with tariffs. We've never seen anything like it. No country's ever seen anything like it. I'm going to devote a little bit of that money, a little bit of the tariff money, to our farmers. Our farmers have been incredible.
I'm surprised that the tariffs lasted this long. I thought it was going to be more of a short-term thing to just try to... I mean, maybe this is still short-term, but to try to get companies to come back, and then also use as leverage to get countries to come to the table, you know, for different negotiations. AI is definitely getting out of control. Yeah, I completely agree. We've covered some stories, but people are falling in love with AI, leaving their family and kids for AI, murdering people for AI. It's getting kind of crazy.
They're the ones that let us survive and eat and enjoy our lives, right? Eat too much, maybe in some cases, like mine. But I will tell you, we're going to take some of the tariff money, relatively small amount, but a lot for the farmers. And we're going to help the farmers out a little bit, because during this transition period, a period where we're taking in incredible amounts of money, we'll have a little bit of a shortfall with the farmers until the tariffs kick in, because they haven't kicked in for the farmers yet. And I decided before, and I spoke to all of the people here, that I want to make a contribution out of the tariff money, a small percentage of it, but it's a lot for the farmers. It'll make the farmers feel very good, just help them through the transition. And ultimately, they're going to be making a fortune. They will be one of the top in the whole world in terms of percentage gotten from the tariffs we're taking in. But we have so much coming in, it's a very small thing. But I want to, in fact, just get the word out to the farmer, because they'll be struggling until the transition is complete. Then after that, they're going to do, I think, better than they've ever done before. Last time I said, get yourself a larger tractor and more land. And that was when they were doing very poorly, and they ended up doing that, and they did very well. That was with the deal we made with China. Unfortunately, Biden forgot about the deal, and he never enforced. I enforced it till the end, and China was very honorable. But when Biden came in, he didn't enforce it. So when you don't enforce a deal, they don't do it. So it's terrible. Biden was very bad to the farmers of our country. So we're going to be doing that. It's an honor to do it, too. Brian, did you have a question?
Yeah, I was just going to say, what's your message to the millions of small businesses here in the U.S. that really rely on TikTok to reach their end user, to market their service and their product?
Well, thank you for that question, because honestly, we were getting hit up. They use it for virtual advertising, and they pay very little for it and nothing for it. And small businesses have become very successful because of TikTok. And we didn't think of that, you know, when everyone's saying, oh, TikTok and this and that. But over the last 6 months, I was called by so many people saying they're going to go out of business if they can, because they use it virtually as a advertising tool. And without it, they wouldn't have anything. They wouldn't be able to get the word out about their good product or whatever it is they're selling. So it's a very important thing for small business. It's another reason I wanted to do the deal so badly. So let's go to another subject now, if we might, okay? And Will, please.
All right, we're getting off of TikTok.
Yes, go ahead.
What does that look like? Is that going to be direct checks to farmers, or is it going to be...
Well, we haven't decided that. We'll be dealing with Brooke later, and the Secretary of Agriculture, and we'll figure out how to get money to the farmers. And again, this comes out of the large amount, hundreds of billions of dollars of tariff money that's pouring into the country. The tariffs, remember when I said a long time ago, I said it's the greatest word, it's my favorite word in the world. Then I had to say, I was forced to say other things, and of course, rightfully so. Love, family, religion. So I think I put tariff number 5. I was forced because the fake news did a big number on me. It's one of those little, but let's say it's my 5th favorite word, the word tariff. But it's making our country very rich. And when our country is rich, I'm able to help the farmers, and I'm able to help even other countries that are in trouble, you know. But we're able to help people that are in trouble. Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security. It's all a benefit of this tremendous amount. And I heard numbers coming in today, Scott, where the numbers were very high, right?
The economic numbers were off the charts, sir.
Unfortunately, right? Because this is the only country in the world where you announce great numbers and the stock market goes down. Because when you announce great numbers, they immediately want to take that success away by raising the interest rates. Why can't you announce great numbers and let them lower the interest rate so you can make numbers? This is the only country in the world. I don't know if you heard. Could you just tell them what the number was? And how
it was 3.88% growth, the biggest in years. And the important thing, as the president says, this is going to be non-inflationary growth, just like it was in its first term. So strong growth, low inflation, real wage gains. And to the question on small business optimism under President Trump last week hit a multi-year high. So small businesses, Main Street is back under President Trump.
But isn't it crazy? So I saw the market was down a little bit today. I mean, in all fairness, I don't feel guilty because we've set every record you can imagine. But it was down, and I say, oh, the numbers must be good. Meaning the growth numbers are phenomenal. And again, this is during, but a little bit of the heavy, the really success and the money pouring into our country through the tariffs. And I just say, why can't we have great numbers and lower the interest rates so we have even greater numbers? So people were saying, oh, the numbers are so good, they're going to have to raise interest rates.
I always hear about farmers struggling in the United States, and I've always wondered why that is, that they seem to have such a struggle. It's always been like a reoccurring thing over the years. I always hear, oh, farmers are struggling. And I've always been curious about that.
That doesn't have to happen. And there's no inflation. We have really, the only thing we have is great success. We're having unbelievable success. So the numbers are much higher than anticipated, except for by me and Scott and some of the other people. And they'll get a lot higher than that, too. But I don't want to, every time we have good numbers, say, let's take all the juice out by raising interest rates. It's so backwards. It's so backwards.
Well, Mr. President, they don't appreciate the importance of the third leg of your stool, because trade, taxes, and deregulation allows for significant upside growth without inflation. So eventually the people at the Fed will be able to focus on this like Alan Greenspan did in the 90s. You can have strong growth and low inflation, and I think we can get the stock market up, Wall Street, Main Street, both doing well.
And we want low interest rates. There's no reason that every time we announce these record numbers, these numbers are way above projections by, all the great geniuses out there. They knew this was going to happen. So they had 71 different people, and only 2 got it right. Me and another gentleman from, I think, my wonderful Wharton School of Finance, actually. So anyway, but I really want you to look at that. Every time we have good numbers, they say this is a good time because they're guarding against inflation that may happen in 2 years from now. We have to change our thinking. We should be rewarded for good numbers, not penalized.
So, Mr. President, is that 3.8? Is that the start of a 3% growth for the entire year?
The number was projected at 2, because we're in a little bit of a transition period, but that transition period's ending faster than we thought on tariffs. The money coming in is much greater than people thought, and there's no inflation, essentially. There's no inflation. We just went through the worst inflation in the history of our country under Sleepy Joe Biden. He was sleeping, and the inflation was really bad, worst ever. They say 48 years, I'll take that too, but I think it was probably the worst inflation we ever had because of spending and energy going through the roof and everything else. By the way, energy's way down. And you're going to really be impressed when you hear what happened today with President Erdogan of Turkey. I think it's great for both countries. I think it's great. We have great relationships with a lot of countries. And you may be even more happy when you find out, because we spoke with Bibi Netanyahu today, and we spoke to all the leaders in the Middle East, who are great people, and we're getting pretty close to having a deal on.
New poll in chat. Is the Trump administration doing a good job? See what chat thinks today. See if it's a 50-50, an 80-20. I'm curious.
Gaza, and maybe even peace, which would be the first time in about, what, 2,000 years, I think? In the region, I'd say the first in, Steve, what would you say, first in 2,000 years, or maybe 1,000? Huh?
2 millennium.
It's a long time. Yeah, go ahead.
Did everyone agree to stop buying Russian oil? Did he?
I don't want to say that, but if I want him to, he will, yeah.
But he didn't take that assurance.
Well, I didn't say, okay, you stop, but I believe, yeah, I believe he will stop it, yeah.
Did you make a deal?
You know why? Because he can buy from a lot of other people. He can buy from a lot of other people. You know who really can't is Hungary. Hungary's got, you know, they're landlocked, and they don't have a nice ocean where ships can sail in from all over the world. You know, they have one pipeline coming. Because I spoke with, he's a great guy, he's a great friend of mine, but, you know, that's a harder one for them. And Slovakia, too. They're sort of married to one pipeline. So I just don't want to have people go blaming them when, you know, we spoke to them at length today, and it seems like that, you know, for them it's a little, but that's not, Turkey has a lot of options. He's a great president, a very smart man, and he's going to take, he's going to do what's right. But we had a very good conversation having to do with the purchase of military equipment, etc. Any other questions?
Would you make a deal on F-35s, Mr. President?
I will be able to easily if I want. So we may do that, yeah.
But not yet.
Well, it depends. He's going to do something for us, yeah. Please.
Is the U.S. going to have sanctions on Turkey?
Can I ask you, we're a few days away.
By the way, here we go with this guy. Go ahead, let's go. Let's hear the question.
We're a few days away from the end of the fiscal year and a potential shutdown.
Right.
There going to be a government shutdown?
Could be, yeah, because the Democrats are crazed. They don't know what they're doing.
So, again, I'm a little out of the loop. What is this government shutdown over? It seems every year there's a government shutdown, or at least the threat of a government shutdown. So what are they negotiating now?
They want to have the border opened up so that criminals can pour in. You know, we're doing unbelievable borders closed and people are coming into our country legally. They continue to want to have men and women sports. They continue to want to have transgender for everyone. They want to raise everybody's taxes at a number that's not sustainable. It's the only time in the world I've ever seen a party that wants to raise taxes. You know, I grew up in a family where I'd watch politics, and I always liked it from the time I was very young, but I'd always see politicians say, we will lower your taxes. These guys, they campaign on raising your taxes, but they want to raise taxes very substantially.
Well, the one thing they're concerned about, I mean, look, Republicans have total control of Washington. You guys have control of the House, the Senate, there's you.
Sure.
Well, when you say control, so we need 60 votes for this, and we have 53 Republicans, so we need 7 Democrats.
And those 7 Democrats and others are asking for an extension of a tax credit on people who get the Affordable Care Act and some other government-backed health care. So are you willing to negotiate on
what
that
they're
issue?
really asking for is they want to pay for illegal aliens that have come into our country by the...
So right here, it sounds like one side is saying extended tax credits, and then Trump is saying health care for illegal immigrants. That seems to be what they're arguing. I might have to dig into this and figure out where the truth lies.
Asking for is they want to pay for illegal aliens that have come into our country by the millions and get onto the rolls, and they want to pay. And our people don't want to do that. Our people are taxed enough. You know, we just approved the largest tax decrease ever in the history of our country, including the extension of the previous Trump tax cuts. The tax cuts that we just approved, they want to use those tax cuts to give the money to illegal aliens, people that came into our country illegally and that are leaving the country.
So why not
there's been a self-deportation because of what we've been doing that's been incredible. Okay, yeah, please.
Secretary Hexer is inviting military leaders from all around the country on Tuesday. Will you also be there?
from all around the country to what?
To Virginia.
Yeah, apparently a bunch of generals and admirals are all supposed to have a meeting. Sounds like an in-person meeting, and they haven't announced what for.
The generals and admirals to Virginia for a big meeting. They're not sure why.
Well, I know, I love it. I mean, I think it's great. Let them be friendly. Let them be friendly with the generals and admirals from all over the world. Why, is there something, no, but is there something wrong with it?
What is it about? Will you be there personally as well? And what is it about?
Well, I'll be there if they want me, but why is that such a big deal? I mean, the fact that we're getting along with the generals and admirals from all, remember, I'm the president of peace. It's good to get along. It's good. You act like this is a bad thing. Isn't it nice that people are coming from all over the world to be with us?
It's not particularly unusual that generals who report to the Secretary of War and then to the President of the United States are coming to speak with the Secretary of War. It's actually not unusual at all, and I think it's odd that you guys have made it into such a big story.
Is it a big story? I mean,
I don't think it is, sir.
I would think it's, no, but isn't it a good story? I mean, we're respected from all over the world as a military force. I rebuilt the military during my first term, even though we gave a chunk of it away to Afghanistan. But we're talking Afghanistan too, by the way, about Bagram and about that. But that's a very small amount compared to what we rebuilt it by. But I rebuilt the military, and we're very respected. We have the strongest military anywhere in the world without question. We have the greatest equipment in the world. We're selling the equipment to other countries. And a lot of generals want to be here, and they want to look at they're also going to be touring equipment sites. They're going to be talking about the newest weapons, et cetera, et cetera. But I think it's great when generals and top people want to come to the United States to be with our now called Secretary of War. Does everybody like the name? I do.
You said something really interesting this week about Ukraine, that you thought Ukraine could get back all the territory that Russia had taken.
Yeah, they have a shot at it, because Russia...
What prompted you to change your thoughts on that?
Well, because I've been watching the way what Russia's been doing. I'm very dissatisfied with what Russia's doing and what President Putin is doing. I haven't liked it at all. He's killing people for no reason whatsoever. And they are doing very poorly, considering they have put it all out on the line. Their economy is going to hell. They're bombing the hell out of everything, and they're picking up a very little territory, if any. In fact, they're losing some territory. So I think it's been very bad for the reputation of Russia. This war should have been over. If this were our war, we would have had it over in 1 week. And they're getting into fourth year, Jeff.
It has been a while.
4 year of fighting, and you see what they've taken. Now, the last month, they've taken very little, and you've been reporting on all the bombing, all the drones all over the place, 900 drones coming into certain areas like Kiev in one night.
Jeez.
And with all of that work, they've taken over very little. So now I'm very disappointed in President Putin. I thought I solved 7 wars. In fact, we have a great leader coming. We have the Prime Minister of Pakistan coming, and the Field Marshal. Pakistan Field Marshal is a very great.
Do we have a lot of Europeans in chat today?
Both. And they're coming, and they may be in this room right now. I don't know, because we're late. And I said maybe they'd like to join they actually may be somewhere in the beautiful Oval Office. Yeah, please, behind you.
On Gaza, did you promise leaders this week that you would not allow Israel to annex the West Bank? Is that something that you?
I will not allow Israel to annex the West Bank. No, I will not allow it. It's not going to happen.
Did you speak with Netanyahu about this?
Yeah, but I'm not going to allow it.
Hey, hello. Got German. Okay, Germany's in here. Hey, London's in here. All right. The Europeans. Folks from across the pond, welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I saw some of those Tylenol comments. I was falling down. I was doom scrolling and watching people eating Tylenol despite Trump, and it just threw me off. I'm really hoping people were just rage baiting with that, because my brain was melted from it. I'm like, I get if you disagree with him, but then to be like, well, you know what? I'm actually just going to take some Tylenol just to show you. It's just very weird to me, very odd.
Whether I spoke to him or not, I did. But I'm not allowing Israel to annex the West Bank. There's been enough. It's time to stop now, okay? Yes, please.
Jasmine Crockett recently.
Jasmine Crockett.
Hey, Alberta.
Jasmine.
We're going to be doing some of the European stuff because it's been a minute, like at least 3 weeks or something since I've covered the stuff going on in the UK with censorship, immigration. I think Italy had some stuff with immigration. I'm trying to think of all the stuff we've covered. But I mean, I keep seeing stories come out of there. I heard people weren't able to wave flags in the UK. Is that correct? Like certain flags you're not allowed to wave or not allowed to have, or you might get in trouble. I heard there's people getting arrested for social media posts. All sorts of craziness going on over there, and I want to catch up with y'all.
Remember when I said, is she a relation to the late, great Davy Crockett? I don't think so. Jasmine Crockett, let me tell you, before you even ask, she's a very low IQ person. I mean, if we ever had to pass an aptitude test, that's the one should take one because she shouldn't even be in the crowd. So I have no idea what you're going to, but I don't think we should waste our time. This is a low IQ person who I can't even believe is a congressperson between her and Ilman Omar and the group. You know, I met the head of Somalia. Did you know that? And I suggested that maybe he'd like to take her back. And he said, I don't want her. Okay, what else? Go ahead. Let's hear what Crockett said. Go ahead.
You compared ICE raids to slave patrol. I want to ask you.
To slave?
To slave patrol. I want to ask you if you think that there should be consequences for members of Congress who make these types of comparisons or use this type of language.
Well, I think she's gone over the line, and I think a lot of the people. Look, the Democrats have become radical left lunatics. They have policies that nobody's going to buy. And, you know, I see what's going on in New York. We're going to have perhaps a communist mayor because it's split up. You know, if the people would get together and have one candidate that have a thing.
Hey, Portugal, what's up?
Looks like maybe they're not going to do that. But we're going to end up with a communist mayor. It's not even believable, my beautiful New York. When I left New York to become president, it was a great place. But it was the beginning of bad things because we had de Blasio. Had just started as mayor, and I said,
do y'all think after Trump is done serving as president, he starts running for like local office? Or do you think he just sits out completely and he's done?
This guy's a real nut job. Went to Harvard to teach management. Can you believe it? He went to Harvard to teach city management along with the mayor of Chicago, who went to Harvard to teach. The two of them are teaching how to manage a city into... manage it into hell is what they do. But that was the beginning, and now we're going to go a step further. Now we're going with the communists. Can I be honest? I think it's the greatest thing to ever happen to the Republican Party. I really do. I think if a communist takes over New York City, I think that's a gift to the Republican Party. It's sad for New York, but it's a gift. And New York will recover because, you know, sometimes you need a shock like that to straighten you out. But
some people are saying he might try to get a third. The only way he could get a third term legitimately that I know of is if he runs as vice president, right? JD runs as president. He's the running mate with JD Vance. JD wins. JD steps down. Then Trump becomes president again, right? That's the only legitimate way that I know of that. And I don't think he's going to do that. My bet, guys, is it's going to be a JD Vance, Tulsi Gabbard ticket. That's what I'm thinking right now. And I'm curious what you guys think about the Democrats. Who are they putting up? I know it's still super early. The only person that I see from them is Newsom. That's the only person I'm seeing right now. Some people have said Kamala Harris, but I highly doubt they run her again. But Newsom was the only one that I've really been seeing out there like that. I know it's still kind of early, though.
It's politically, it's probably a very good thing.
Mr. President, immigration, crime, and the World Cup. So
that's a lot of questions.
You have a number of cities that are pushing back against your immigration deportation move as well as your crime initiatives. Some of those cities,
I don't think they're very much
but
pushing
some of those
back.
cities have World Cup games.
Yeah.
Seattle, San Francisco.
They're going to be very secure.
But could those games move if they don't cooperate with your crime?
Well, that's an interesting one, I guess. But we're going to make sure they're safe.
I mean, yes, I know it's still a while out. It's still a while out.
By radical left lunatics and that don't know what they're doing. Look at Washington, D.C. I just got numbers. There's like no crime in Washington, D.C. You, Jeff, will not be mugged walking down the street. You can walk down the street with your family. You can walk down the street with your wife, your daughter, your son, and you're not going to be. We took out 1,700 career criminals that we're not allowing back. And we have this city in great shape. You know, there was a time when every single, not long ago.
I call it legitimate in terms of it being legal, right? I mean, I'm not a lawyer, obviously. Correct me, guys. Correct me, all the lawyers in chat. But I'm talking about just legal, right? Like he would be following the rules technically, right? That's what I mean by legitimate.
When every single week you'd have at least one murder. And look what's happening with Washington. It's safe. I went to dinner in Washington just to prove a point. I gave a press conference in the middle of a street. I wouldn't say Secret Service was thrilled, but I did it, and here I am. Look, Washington, D.C. is such a great example of what can be done. We did it in 12 days. We made it very safe in 12 days, and now it's much safer than that. One other thing, I drove around Washington over the weekend, and I said, look at the difference. The grass looked great. Everything looked great. You know, we had a lot of our National Guard, and we didn't ask them to do it. They did it themselves. They're proud. They're great. And they were picking up paper. They were cleaning. The place looked really beautiful. So we have a great Washington, D.C. We, as you probably know, we're going into Memphis, and we're going into some other cities, and very soon we're going to go into Chicago. It will be safe for the World Cup. If I think it isn't safe, we'll move it into a different city. Absolutely, we'll take the world. If I think it's not, it's actually a very fair question. If I think it's not safe, we're going to move it out of that city. If, like the governor of Illinois, who is, you know, look, last week. Between last week and the week before, 11 murders, and 38 people were shot. Then he gets up and he says, this is a very safe, and then he says crime is better. The reason crime is better is because Cash put, about 5 months ago, a whole team of FBI people there to get ready for when we go in, and they've lowered it a little bit, you know, like 20, 25%, which isn't...
Yeah, we're going to have to do a whole Israel stream. Israel, Palestine... Israel and the U.S.'s relationship with Israel, because it's something we have yet to really touch on this channel. But every stream, I feel like Israel is brought up, and Netanyahu is brought up more and more, and then Epstein gets brought up, and then people say he was a Mossad agent, and you know, more and more, and we have yet to touch on that. I need to do some reading and some studying, but we're gonna do like a whole stream, I think, diving into it.
Good enough, but it's a good start. But that was only put there because they're preparing for us to go in. And they've done, by the way, they've done a good job. So then Pritzker gets up, we've lowered crime 25. It's because the FBI was there. So, no, if any city we think is going to be even a little bit dangerous for the World Cup or for the Olympics, you know, where they have Olympic overthrow, right? But for the World Cup in particular, because they're playing in so many cities, we won't allow it to go to, we'll move it around a little bit. But I hope that's not going to happen, yeah.
I mean, Mr. President, Director Patel this morning indicated that the shooter in Dallas had been using an app to track ICE. Does your administration have any plans to take down those apps or get them removed? Or any
well, I can't tell you about that, but it tells you when they want to wear masks or they want to hide a little bit, why that's so important. But these are great patriots, the ICE, and what a tough job they have. What an unbelievably tough job they have. And think of it, what are they doing? They're taking hardcore criminals out of our country and putting them back.
I mean, is it illegal? Like, let's say you had an app to track police officers, right? And in this app, you download the app and, hey, the police are sitting here. It's a speed trap. Watch out. Hey, the police over here. Watch out. Is that illegal? Would that be obstructing what the police is doing? Is there something you're like some law you're breaking? And then if so, would that also apply to ICE?
These were largely criminals that were given to us by Joe Biden and his group of radical maniacs that surrounded this desk, just like these people surround the desk now, but they're not maniacs, they're very solid people.
Thank you, sir.
I'm glad I prefaced. But they're great. We have a great cabinet. We have great people. And he didn't have great people. He had terrible people. Look at Afghanistan. Look at...
Well, yeah, you can report speed traps, and on Google Maps, it'll tell you on the map. So that seems fair, but you're not allowed to have aren't there receivers you can have to pick up on like police communications and sort of tell where police are in the area? But that's illegal, or is it illegal in some places? It seems like if you were running an application to circumvent law enforcement, that would somehow be illegal, but I just don't know how it would be illegal. But it would make, but it's, you know, it's almost intuitive that it would be, right?
Look at the people he had running our military, that could happen. The most embarrassing day in the history of our country was Afghanistan, and 13 young people died. They don't ever talk about the 38 that were horribly wounded with legs and arms and everything else, really horribly wounded. So the country's respected like it's probably almost never been respected before. I think we're respected at a level, and a year ago it was a dead country. We had a dead country a year ago. This country was dying. It was really in bad shape. Let's talk about the next subject, can we?
One of the most powerful deterrents we have to violent crime is the death penalty. As you said, your administration has taken bold, decisive steps to ensure that Washington, D.C. is once again a safe and secure city for its residents and all who visit. This is a presidential memorandum that directs your Attorney General and your U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, Judge Janine Pirro, to fully implement the death penalty here in Washington, D.C., where the evidence and facts of a case indicate that the death penalty should be used.
Okay? Everybody understand? Death penalty in Washington. You kill somebody, or if you kill a police officer, law enforcement officer, death penalty. And hopefully there won't be that. So again, it's way down. I mean, we have had week after week after week where we haven't had a murder. I said that the other day in front of the president of Poland. The press was here, and I said, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to announce that Washington, D.C. has not had a death in 4 weeks, a murder. And he looked at me and goes, is that good or bad? You know, he said, what kind of place is this? But it's true for years. I mean, every week, essentially, somebody got killed or more than one.
Jeez.
And this is a very safe city right now. We don't play games. And, you know,
we'll have to
it's interesting.
check those stats. I mean, if murders are down, I would say that is good, right?
We took these careers out, career criminals. They call them careers. They left the word criminal out, but we took the careers out of here, and they're now brought back to their homes, or they're in jail, or they're in a jail in another country, and hopefully they're not coming back. And we have to maintain it. You can't just leave, and we have to maintain it. We've gotten along fairly well with the mayor. You know, she's getting a party that hates that the city's becoming safe. I mean, they're actually criticizing her because the city's becoming safe. But this is becoming this is right now a very, very
All right, you're saying murders aren't down? All right, we got to pull some stats. We got to figure this one out.
This is considered, this went from the most unsafe city in the country to the safest city in the country. There's no city any safer. That's a pretty big achievement. And we really did it in 12 days. But if you add an extra week to it, that'd be nice. And I mean, you can go out to dinner. Restaurants are booming. You know, the restaurants were dead.
Wait, Freedom Effect. You said the Supreme Court has ruled DUI checkpoints are legal, but you are under no obligation to help with their investigation. Keep your mouth shut and your window cracked. Do not answer questions. But how does that work if you don't cooperate? I mean, are they just going to let you go? Or can they, I mean, I imagine they could press the issue, right?
They were dead. Even if you got to the restaurant, then somebody would come in and hold you up. You know, they'd hold up the whole restaurant. They go to Uber. Young ladies in the White House, they'd call Uber for protection. They'd run to the car because they were petrified to be from the entrance of their building to the car. Now they feel safe. They're in the car, and then the car gets hijacked while they're in the back of the car.
Jeez.
This is what we were living in. We were living in hell. People that work in the White House, every time they see me, young women in particular, say, thank you, sir. And I don't even ask them about what. I know exactly. I made their lives. Now they're living in a beautiful, glamorous place called Washington, D.C. with no crime, and that's the way it should be. Okay? This is the death penalty for somebody that kills people in Washington, D.C. I think it's capital. It's a very interesting capital punishment, capital city. Right? It's capital, capital, capital. But this is our capital city. We can't allow that to happen. People come in from Iowa to look at the Lincoln Memorial and they end up getting killed. It doesn't happen anymore. It's not going to happen. And if it does happen, it's the death penalty for the person that did it. And this goes into effect. Right? Pam, is that right? Could you speak a little bit about that?
Yes, sir. Not only are we seeking it in Washington, D.C., but all over the country again. And as you saw very recently, we are now moving.
How do we feel about Pam Bondi? I feel like Pam Bondi has been getting a lot of shit from everybody at this point. I feel like even MAGA is not feeling Pam right now.
The inmates who were on death row, who Joe Biden or the auto pen commuted their sentences off of death row, we're moving them to supermax facilities where they will be treated like they're on death row for the rest of their lives, President Trump.
Okay, that's a big statement. Thank you very much. Okay. I see some of you shaking your heads very positively. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, fellas.
You said on the campaign trail that
I said it.
Yeah. The death penalty is anybody illegal killed a U.S. citizen
That's
or a
right.
police officer. So this just reinforces your campaign promise.
That's right. And most people really like it. And Washington, again, it's going to serve as a beacon because...
Yeah, the files thing was so bad for... I mean, the files were bad for Bondi and Kash Patel.
Have to do it. These are bad people. When you look at that guy, the guy that killed the young lady in the train in North Carolina, that he'll be in trial for years, years, years. He'll get a good lawyer somewhere along the line. Somebody will come along, and what he did to that young lady, and she went into that train scared. You know, when she went in, the way she sat down, she was scared to just be there. She just wanted to not pay any attention to anybody, just not be noticed.
Yeah, the Epstein files were just, I mean, that was just a colossal loss on their part. I did one video, like only video on my channel that's actually posted is about the Epstein files. And I just played clips from Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, and Trump all saying that, hey, there's something here. And then, you know, a few months go by, Kash Patel's the FBI director, you know, Trump's in office, all this, da-da-da. And now there's nothing there. Why are we talking about the guy? Who cares? There's no files. They were only trafficking to themselves. There were no videos from the prison because the cameras were down. Well, there's actually video footage. I mean, I don't know.
And she had her throat slit. We don't want that in this country anymore. We're not going to have it in this country anymore. Thank you very much. Next.
Lastly, sir, this is a presidential memorandum on countering domestic terrorism and organized political violence. In recent weeks, months, and years, we've seen a tremendous upsurge in some highly visible, but also other acts of domestic terrorism and organized political violence being perpetrated by radical, politically motivated groups all over the country. What this presidential memorandum will do is set off an administration-wide response to that, ranging from the Joint Terrorism Task Forces to other components of the Department of Justice to the Department of Homeland Security and Department of Treasury. We're looking at interdicting these groups, preventing them from performing acts of violence, and also looking at sources of organization and funding and support that prop them up and allow them to do the acts that they have been doing.
We're looking at the funders of a lot of these groups, and you know, when you see the signs, and they're all beautiful signs made professionally. These aren't your protesters that make the sign in their basement late in the evening because they really believe it. These are anarchists and agitators, professional anarchists and agitators, and they get hired by wealthy people, some of whom I know, I guess, you know, probably know them. And you wouldn't know it. You're at dinner with them, everything's nice, and then you find out that they funded millions of dollars to these lunatics. Steve, could you say a couple of words?
Yes, Mr. President. This is a very historic and significant day. This is the first time in American history that there is an all-of-government effort to dismantle left-wing...
All right, I was waiting for somebody to say it. Yo, who is that? Shot caller. Hey, the real question is, why did so many presidents or presidencies hold on to the files and never release nor follow up with actions? Exactly. Because a lot of people, oh, well, Trump doesn't want to release it because it implicates him or his buddies. Well, by that logic, why didn't Joe Biden? If Trump was implicated, all Biden would have to do is drop that file and win the election. Boom, sweep, landslide, easy. I think everybody's implicated. Left, right, center. There's a bunch of powerful people that are associated with Epstein, and they don't want it to come out, and it's mutual insured destruction for everybody.
Antifa, to dismantle the organizations that have been carrying out these acts of political violence and terrorism. What we have seen, if you look at whether it be going back to the riots that started with Black Lives Matter and all the way through to the Antifa riots, the attacks on ICE officers, the doxing campaigns, and now the political assassinations, these are not lone, isolated events. This is part of an organized campaign of radical left terrorism. It is structured, it is sophisticated, it is well funded, it is well planned. There is really no parallel like this to anything else in the country right now. There is an entire system of feeder organizations that provide money, resources, weapons, and when they're attacking ICE officers, they're attacking federal buildings, or they're isolating public officials for harassment, doxing, intimidation, and ultimately attempted assassination. It is all carefully planned, executed, and thought through. It is terrorism on our soil. Because of this executive order, Cash and Pam are going to have the tools they need, working with Scott, to take these organizations apart piece by piece. And the central hub of that effort is going to be the Joint Terrorism Task Force, or JTTF, which sits inside the Federal Bureau of Investigation. But for those at home who are worried about terrorism in this country, they need to understand, because of President Trump's strength, because of his vision, because of his leadership, we are now going to use the entire force of the federal government to uproot these organizations root and branch. And again, that's only possible because of President Trump and his leadership.
Thank you. Steve Cash, please.
Yes, as Steve was saying, Mr. President, thanks to your leadership, crime is going downward in a tremendous fashion, and that's what we want for every city in America. And the FBI's premier flagship enterprise, the Joint Terrorism Task Force, are honored to lead this initiative with our partners at Treasury and Homeland Security, because our citizens are being attacked by, as Stephen said, organized violence, and it's being paid for, not by them, by other people. So what we are going to do, combining forces as Scott and I have done in these last few months, is follow the money. People and organizations have collected funds and put them out into the streets of America and organized violence across our country. And thanks to your recognition of this and this executive order and the AG's leadership to lead out and prosecute these individuals, we are properly going to chase them down like the domestic terrorists that they are. And our streets and our communities are going to be safer because the JTTF and the FBI and Treasury and DHS and DOJ are going to combine forces like never before to root out this new evil that is perpetrating our criminal activities across our societies. And we are just so thankful for your leadership and recognition of it. It's not easy to do.
Good job. Thank you very much,
Who
Pam.
specifically do you want to target?
What?
Besides Antifa, is there a specific group or person you're targeting with this?
Any organized group.
Any organized
Any
group?
organized group who are committing these crimes, and we're working with the Secretary of Treasury. You know what law enforcement has told us under President Trump's leadership? He's taken the handcuffs off law enforcement. They can do their jobs now, thanks to you, President Trump, and that's what's happening. And all of these agencies that Cash mentioned, we work hand in hand together. Our prosecutors were following the money with Treasury. We're working with Homeland Security. Cash's agents, all of our agents, DEA, ATF, U.S. Marshals, combined are working, and with state and local government, to take these people off the streets who are jeopardizing lives.
Can I just illustrate this? So I was talking with Cash and Stephen about this a couple of days ago, sir. So I believe it was in Oregon where you had a federal building where there were men in black ski masks who were committing acts of violence, who were shutting down a government building. To the president's point, they don't come from nowhere. These are paid people. This is organized. They're committing acts of political terrorism on American soil. And it's time we had a government that looked out for the American people rather than the people who are committing violence against the American people.
When you go out to Portland and you see what's happening in Portland, this is like nobody's ever seen anything like it. Every night, and this has gone on for years. They just burned the place down, and you know the shop owners, most of them have left, but the few shops that are open, they just use plywood and just like 3/4-inch plywood. They don't put storefronts because they know it's going to be burned down. These are professional agitators.
Right.
These are bad people, and they're paid a lot of money by rich people, some of whom we know. I'm sure I know some. I don't. If I knew, I wouldn't associate because I'll be in trouble because Pam will say, "Why are you associating with this person?" But I will tell you that these are bad people, and they're paying a lot of money, millions of dollars. But
What some of y'all are saying in chat, and I mentioned this earlier, and I'll circle back on this when we do Epstein stuff. But I thought the victims were going to release their own list, but I haven't seen anything new on that.
Portland sometime. These are wild, these are crazy people, and they're trying to burn down buildings, including federal buildings. And on my list of things that I want to do before we finish up with the cities, because I think we're going to whip the cities back into shape, and we have to. We cannot let our cities, and that's a small example, but it's the most violent example. It's every night, and they've done it for years. You think maybe at some point they made their point, and what are they doing? But we're going to get out there, and we're going to do a pretty big number of those people in Portland that are doing that. They're professional agitators and anarchists. They're actually anarchists, yeah. Go ahead, why don't you defend? Let's see you defend them, Jeff.
No, I'm not defending anyone. I just want, so that we can just explain this in our stories, could you name a couple?
You don't explain it right, though, Jeff. Go ahead, let's go. Maybe let's give you another chance. Go ahead.
Antifa, Soros, what names are we talking about?
Well, Soros is a name certainly that I keep hearing. I don't know, but Soros is a name that I hear. I hear a lot of different names. I hear names of some pretty rich people that are radical left people. Maybe I hear about a guy named Reid Hoffman. Somebody's a pretty rich guy, I guess, and I hear about him. I don't know. Maybe could be him. Could be a lot of people. We hear the same names, but they're bad, and we're going to find out. And if they are funding these things, they're going to have some problems because they're agitators and they're anarchists. These are anarchists. Really bad. Okay, yeah, please.
Can you comment on
Who are you with? Who are you with?
I'm with the Center Square. Sarah Rodriguez is my name. Sarah, there's also, as you know, Antifa is not just a domestic terror or now a domestic terror organization. It's also international. I know the Netherlands is looking at also designating them a terror organization.
Right.
Have you been working with your intel community and your DNI to possibly expand that to?
Listen, we have a lot of different mods here. We got lefties, we got right-wingers. I imagine some of the moderators are middle of the ground, but depending what time you drop in here and who is online, you never know what you're going to get. Half the time they're at each other's throats when they're all in chat.
Making them designated
Yes,
an
we have.
international terror
Yeah, we have been. Yep. It's an international. In many cases, it is international.
I try to keep it balanced in that way. Otherwise, you have mods silencing people that they disagree with. So I need other mods that disagree with those mods to call them out. That way we don't create an echo chamber by accident here. That's why all viewpoints are welcome. Obviously, within TOS, no calls to violence, don't spam, and be annoying. Pretty simple stuff, really.
Mr. Antifa, if someone takes to the streets of America and says they're Antifa, what happens to them? What will happen to them?
Well, I'd say the maximum under the law, and we'll see. Now, if they kill somebody, we just signed a death penalty, so it depends where it is. But if they kill somebody, which they do, I mean, people are dying. You go out to Portland, people die out there. Many people have died over the years in Portland. Portland is, I don't know how anybody lives there. It's amazing.
Is Portland that bad?
It's anarchy out there, and that's what they want. They want anarchy, like when they attacked Seattle and took over a big percentage of the city. I was going to go out, and we were going to do a big number. They heard that, and everybody broke up all of a sudden. But, you know, you have governors that have to run that, and a lot of them don't do that. I don't like to go in. I'd rather have Pritzker's support when we go into Chicago. But if we don't have it, that's okay, too, because we're paramount, and we will do what we have to do. We're going to make Chicago safe. We're going to make we're going to make as many as we can, and usually that involves a surge. But what we did with, in the case of Chicago, by having the FBI go out there 5 or 6 months ago, we brought it down a little bit. You know, a little bit is 25%, so it's not so little, but it is when you're talking about the kind of crime and killings and murders that you hear in Chicago. But we're going to get it. Chicago's a great city. As the Union Pacific said, the head of the Union Pacific, who's a great guy, started off as a low-rung guy. He said he started at a caboose, and now he's the chairman of the Union Pacific. But he's a great guy. But he said, "Sir, don't lose Chicago." The way he said it, I said, boy, it really hit me. You know, here's a man that knows all the cities. The Union Pacific, I guess, is our largest railroad, and he knows all the cities. He's been doing it for 45 years, and he said, "Sir, don't lose Chicago." And the way he said that meant a lot to me, and we're going to go into Chicago very soon. We're going to take care of Memphis. We're going to take care of Memphis. You can't walk a block without getting shot. We're going to take care of that one, and just like we did Washington, D.C., and we're gonna do Chicago very soon. Yeah.
Mr. President, we heard there could be an indictment on James Comey. Do you know if there is an indictment or Madam Attorney?
I don't know. I know it's going on because I read the papers just like you do, right? So I don't know. Do you have anything to say about that?
We can't comment on that.
Yeah.
Madam Attorney General,
can you comment on a New York Times report saying that Justice Department officials have asked attorneys to target a George Soros-funded group? And is this executive order that you just signed a part of that effort?
I'm not going to comment on whether there is or is not a pending investigation, but everything's on the table right now.
I don't think anybody has to ask, because if you look at Soros, he's at the top of every. In fact, sometimes they say, could he be involved in this many things? But he's in every story that I read. Stories that I read keep talking about Soros, and so I guess he'd be a likely candidate. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much.
Was that it? That was short. That was really short. It seems like we got a decent amount of Canadians in here. Our brothers up north. Brothers and sisters. Our cousins, maybe. You said, how is it possible that people who set up fake social security accounts have not been arrested? That's so easy. Adding Canada. Look, we've joked about adding Canada to the country. Now, how would you do that? It wouldn't just be a single state, right? You would have to break Canada into multiple states, I imagine. Right? So I don't know if we'd just add one star. We'd probably have to add multiple stars. And Canada, you should hope that America doesn't fall, because if America falls, you're going to have a bunch of Americans trying to get into Canada. And you're going to have to deal with an influx of Americans. All right, if you're already annoyed by us, I don't think you want a bunch of us running over there. Okay? Yeah, the whole Puerto Rico situation too. Yeah. You said we welcome any non-MAGAs. You said Mexico also won't help us. I think we just make, just make North America just America. Keep it simple. We could connect Alaska to the mainland, right? With a little bit of Canada. Get a little bit of that tropic weather in Mexico. It could be really beautiful. It could be really beautiful. We joke. But that AI image that he posted, Trump posted, that was like, oh, Canada. That was kind of funny. It was a little funny. You guys might not find this interesting. I found this very interesting earlier, so you have to deal with it. Oh, actually, hold up. I might actually have something else that I wanted to pull up. Well, this is more for you guys that are worried about censorship, control of our information, history being rewritten. I just randomly got this and thought it was interesting.
How many people know this, but a woman in the 1970s taped everything that aired on TV for almost 40 years because she predicted the rise of fake news. Marion Stokes was a public access television producer, a businesswoman, and an activist in the 1970s who was also an avid collector of things. By today's standards, she'd probably be diagnosed as a hoarder. But she was also convinced that we were headed down a path where technology would eventually become so great that the powers that be could manipulate information to lie to us about any historical event that they wanted. So she married her hoarding skills with this grand vision. And in 1977, she started taping everything that aired on TV 24/7. She mostly wanted to tape the news, but she also taped TV shows like The Cosby Show, The Oprah Winfrey Show, and Star Trek because she was afraid that somebody was going to eventually erase the contributions of these black actors and creators from historical records. She did this by recording the different TV channels 24/7 on VHS tapes on multiple VCRs and TVs throughout her house. Each VHS tape had an 8-hour capacity, and when one would run out, she would quickly switch it out for the other all day and night, every day. She did this every single day for decades, and And yes, it is as life-consuming as it sounds. In fact, she scheduled her entire daily routine around the length of these VHS tapes, with everything like school and work and family outings being planned around her being able to start a fresh tape, go out, and then come back in time to start the next one. Her collection of these tapes eventually got so big that they filled her entire house, and she started having to rent multiple storage units to house them. She eventually collected over 71,000 Betamax and VHS tapes throughout her lifetime. But these recordings weren't the only thing that she collected throughout those years. She also had half a dozen daily newspaper subscriptions and over 100 monthly magazine subscriptions that she collected for decades. She also owned 192 Macintosh computers that she bought throughout these years, which is believed to be the largest private collection of historical Macintoshes. And she even at one point told her in-laws to invest in Apple early on, and they got very rich from this. Marion Stokes recorded everything on TV between 1977 and her death in 2012. Eventually, as she got older, she hired an assistant to help her with the tape switching. And the very final thing that she recorded on December 14th of 2012 before her death was coverage of the Sandy Hook shooting. In 2013, a year after her
That's interesting.
death, Marion Stokes' son donated her entire tape collection to the Internet Archive. It took 4 shipping containers and $16,000 to mail it to their headquarters in San Francisco. And upon receiving it, they started the process of digitizing every tape. And to this day, in 2025, they are still not done. And while many people probably view what Marion Stokes was doing for those 37 years as a pointless, quixotic task, as you can see from everything going on around us, she was right. She was a visionary ahead of her time. So hats off to the true OG, Marion Stokes. And real quick,
I think that was really cool. I randomly found that earlier and wanted to share with y'all. I just thought it was cool. But check out this guy's channel. I just subscribed. That's who we just watched. Treehouse Detective. Always got to show support. Bam. But I just found that very interesting. One sec. Bam. I didn't get any sleep, so this is not as planned out. So we're gonna be going a bunch of different places here. All right, bear with me. I thought this was kind of funny and interesting. It ended up in my feed the other night, and me and some friends were laughing our ass off.
January 29th, 2019.
So let me pull this up for you. This is Netflix here. Netflix. I don't think I need to pull that up. I think we all know what Netflix is.
January 29th, 2019. Police were called to an incident. They see an actor called Jussie Smollett with a noose around his neck. He says that he was the victim of a hate crime.
To think that I had 2 white guys attack a black man in this city was disgusting to me.
This was a racially motivated incident involving a celebrity. I knew this was going to be huge.
You could not turn on the TV, you could not turn on the radio. It literally was everywhere.
I thought it was a horrible crime at first, until it started to fall apart.
Jussie was still being treated as the victim, but the narrative out there was shifting.
Some things kind of struck me as a little odd.
It does not fit with Jussie's account of what occurred.
We were going through the polar vortex at the time. Who is out in the street with it being cold out there?
The fact that they weren't buying his story was like, wow.
Time is ticking and the pressure's on to get to the bottom of what's going on.
We saw that they had actually identified who these guys were. I was like, we got this dude now.
The twists and turns of it are really jaw-dropping.
I would not be my mother's son if I was capable of one drop of what I've been accused of.
Most people don't really know the truth and what the actual evidence in the case was.
Evidence from the scene shows that there were white men there.
Could it be possible that Jussie Smollett is actually innocent?
What kind of bizarro world are they living in?
I don't want to say it's suspicious. It seems sensational.
I'm innocent.
Chicago police has a century-long history of lying to the public.
They're just creating a distraction.
What the is going on?
The biggest question is, who really can we trust?
Anyway, I need to watch this. I sent me down a rabbit hole. I was going down memory lane. Netflix, obviously, don't really. I mean, we all know Netflix, right? But I watched this News Nation special on it. And just, it was really funny because when this story first broke, I remember so many people around me were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this. And I remember I read into it for 2 seconds. And I remember I was on Instagram at that point and I was posting to my story like, yo guys, this sounds fake. This is crazy. People were like, oh, you're crazy. You're crazy. And then I don't know if it was a week or two later, everybody had flipped the script and I was like, how did you not see this? How did you not see this seemed fake? Allegedly a fake. I'm saying my opinion, okay, opinion, being very specific here, is this is some bullshit. But anyway, sorry. I just had to fit that in there at some point. Like I said, we don't have too much structure here today. I think we touched on this briefly earlier. Where is it? So we're probably just going to listen to a little bit of this because I think we already touched on it in my last stream. But this is another thing that was making me pull my hair out. Tim Cast, if you guys aren't familiar, does journalisms and whatnot on YouTube. Check out his channel. I think he has his own like news network thing. Oh, and join the Discord if you want. Drop that link in the chat. You guys could drop links in the Discord and whatnot, make suggestions, all that good stuff. Makes it a lot easier for me to source your guys' claims when you just send me the sources.
This story is absolutely crazy, and I gotta be honest, I don't know that I believe it because...
Well, I did Christopher, I did a stream earlier. I was playing Fallout 4 and just kind of kicking it, hanging out with people. I don't even know when I started that. I probably started that around 1 or 2 a.m. So, well, no, I think I did that stream for 6 hours. So I could have been around midnight or 2 a.m., something like that. Probably midnight, yeah.
Well, just because...
And then I turned that off and I fired this one up like 5 minutes after.
Some lady went on the internet, made a video and said it happened. Doesn't mean it's true. But we've seen a bunch of videos where pregnant women are popping Tylenol. And holy crap, I did not know this. And I typically avoid Tylenol. I don't mind ibuprofen.
It's crazy to me if it's real. I want to believe these women are just rage baiting, right? They make it look like they're taking Tylenol. They're not really taking Tylenol.
I've got my secret stash right here of my amazing ibuprofen. As someone who's about to be 40, we all know the magic that is ibuprofen. Now, I don't really use acetaminophen, Tylenol. I don't know why. I just never been a fan of it. But, yo.
Yeah, I don't use Tylenol very often. I have to be in some serious pain. Like, generally, if I'm getting a headache, my first go-to is, you probably need to drink some water. I mean, this is me personally. Yeah, I should probably drink some water. A lot of times, my headache will disappear. I think I'll probably do ibuprofen first for most things. But I tend to try to just not take pills and whatnot and medicine unless, you know, it's excruciating, you know, I'm dying or something, you know.
9. That's 9
Oh,
pills.
Tilly, what's going on?
In one day can kill you. What? Yo, I didn't know that. And I got all the data.
I didn't know that either. 9 in one. I could see 9 at once, but 9 in one day, like spaced out. Like 3, 8 hours later, 3, 8 hours later, 3, 8, 16, 24. That's lethal. I mean, I'm sure it damages what, your liver, but I figured that wouldn't be lethal.
To show you. So apparently this lady, she makes a video.
Wait, you're allergic to pain meds? Do you know what you're allergic to? Is it the acetylphenamine? Acetylphenamine? I don't know why I can't say that word.
She basically says she got a call at 4 in the morning from a husband. He's freaking out. His wife was trying to prove Trump wrong. She's pregnant.
Kidneys. Is it kidneys?
She took a bunch of Tylenol. She's in liver failure. She is going to die. Now, again, it's a lady telling a story. This could just be rage bait, viral garbage, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm hoping it is.
No, but let me read for you. Pregnant liberal woman suffers fatal Tylenol overdose after trying to prove Trump wrong. Now allegedly on ventilator, fighting for her life. Nicole Siratek, founder of American Frontline Nurses, claimed that she received a frantic 4 a.m. call from a distraught husband whose pregnant wife is now on a ventilator after overdosing on Tylenol. According to Siratek, the woman, who was between 23 and 25 weeks pregnant, attempted to ingest massive amounts of Tylenol in an effort to prove Donald Trump wrong.
There's just no way.
Linking acetaminophen use during pregnancy.
There's no way this is real.
To autism. As the Gateway Pundit reported, President Trump on Monday announced that the use of acetaminophen, the active ingredient in Tylenol, can...
what did he say? Hold up.
As the Gateway Pundit reported, President Trump on Monday announced that the use of acetaminophen, the
acetaminophen, okay,
active ingredient in Tylenol, can increase the risk of autism when used by pregnant women. HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said Tylenol is tied to autism, ADHD, and liver toxicity in children. Today, the FDA will issue a physician's notice about the risk of acetaminophen during pregnancy and begin the process to initiate a safety label change.
What I found so interesting is, people were mentioning Tylenol. So I was like, okay, let me look up this Tylenol stuff. And the first short that I got, like I typed in Tylenol, autism, whatever. And I click on just a short just to get like some quick info real quick, see what's going on. It was from 2 or 3 years ago. And I didn't realize it. I went to the comments. I'm like, wait, these comments are from like 2 or 3 years ago. So this isn't coming out of absolutely nowhere. Like, the conversation has been had and been out there and whatnot. Although it does still feel like this is out of left field, like out of nowhere. He just kind of was like, hey, don't take Tylenol. It's bad for you, baby.
In a post on X, Siratek wrote, actually, let me pull this one up for you. So let's zoom in. She says, got a frantic call at 4 a.m.
You said fentanyl users won't touch that stuff. Wild.
From a husband who was given my phone number via someone who had it. His pregnant wife is now on a ventilator dying of liver failure, trying to prove...
We're going to have to dig into Project 2025. We're going to have to dig into that at some point.
...that Tylenol doesn't cause autism, since this is trending on TikTok. Well, let's read the proposed community notes. Unverified claim. Completely agree. This is a woman who made a video. Don't know.
It's funny you mentioned Benadryl, Tilly. Trying to think of what I could say here. Obviously, yeah, overtaking anything. Too much water will kill you, right? Too much milk will kill you. Whatever. Benadryl's interesting. I went down this whole rabbit hole of over-the-counter drugs, just like researching them. There's like these subcultures of like people that abuse over-the-counter drugs. The reason I found this is I was reading the Malcolm X autobiography. Where's the biography? I want to say autobiography. No. The Malcolm X biography. And in it, I think he said he was in prison and they would get high on nutmeg. I was like, what? Nutmeg? So I started looking into it because I was just interested. And it led me to some interesting Reddits, some interesting subreddits. And I discovered this whole world of over-the-counter drugs and people that used them. And basically, by taking a lot of, I think it's Benadryl. I want to say it's, don't quote me on this. Obviously, guys, don't do drugs. Don't do drugs, okay? I think it was Benadryl. Taking a ton of it, people would have like true hallucinations. There'd be like spiders running around and like running up them. They'd hear banging on the door. There'd be nobody there. They'd have a controller in their hand. It would evaporate into like mist. crazy stories. So it's interesting that you mentioned Benadryl, because just doing my little investigating over there, people were taking a shit ton of it to have those effects. And the effects sounded absolutely horrible and horrifying and everything. So anyway, beside the point, just a little interesting tidbit there.
Tylenol issued a warning in 2017 not to use their product during pregnancy.
Wait, banana peel? What are you talking about? Don't ask me how I know. How do you know? Water actually kills a lot of people. I can see that, yeah. Hydrazine is the same, but it's prescription. Huh.
Other sources on the excessive use of Tylenol. Yeah, wow, this is crazy. When is this one from? So again, we don't know that this is a true story. I think, is this?
We might not know that this one's a true story, but I saw a bunch of people posting videos where they appear to be pregnant and they appear to be taking Tylenol and sort of dancing around in this ha you can't stop me kind of a way, which is totally cool. That's with it. Yes, you're right and everything. I mean, you know, I don't think it's a good look. I think you look a little silly and a little crazy, and you're possibly taking on more risks just for internet clout or something. So it's really odd, because even if you disagree with him, to like record yourself and post a video, you're obviously trying to get, you know, attention from it. So it's just interesting, you know, the way the internet is and people are.
I don't know if this is the person who originally made the post. I don't know. He has to try and make a tough decision to try and save an unborn baby that may not survive outside the womb at approximately gestation of 23 to 25 weeks.
Oh, Arrowhead, wow.
At the same time, his wife won't survive through the week and will never get to meet her baby. This behavior is ridiculous. This woman hated Trump so much because of the Harvard study on Tylenol and autism. She ultimately killed herself by overdosing on Tylenol to try and prove Trump wrong. Her baby may not survive either. Her husband now may lose his entire family because of the craziness of liberal men chasing TikTok clout with TDS. So again, I don't know that any of this is true. It's whatever, right? But I do want to point out the dangers of Tylenol overdose, because we have seen videos of women doing this. Now, listen.
You guys keep mentioning banana peels. I've seen people soaking banana peels in water. I'm trying to remember what they were soaking them for. Is there like some sort of food or something you make out of like soaking banana peels in water? Or are you just trying to get the potassium to water your plants? Anyway, I don't know.
I don't know that any of those videos are true. I did a video about it yesterday. Everyone was talking about it. This woman, she's like dancing and she like pops a pill. Doesn't even look like she's taking Tylenol. It looks like she's rage baiting. We are cooked, man. This algorithmic psycho slop content that people are making. Yeah. They're all just doing it, and everyone is going insane.
It caught me. It caught me. I try not to doom scroll. I try to touch grass, guys. Okay. But I was losing my mind when I saw people eating the Tylenol. And I'm like, I know they're just doing this for views, and they got me hooked.
Humans are not made for this. I suppose at the end of the day, it's an artificial selection.
Well, he did say he doesn't know if it's a true story and stuff. And I'm not sure if it's true either, this specific story, but we did see the phenomena of people at least pretending to take the Tylenol.
Perhaps a natural selection where only the strongest of willed people with the cognitive fortitude
watering your plants.
Tylenol will survive. Let me just say, nobody ever actually ate Tide Pods, okay? You remember that one? The media was like, kids are eating Tide. No, they're not. They would die. You just die. What they were doing was they're making dumb gag videos where they pretended to eat them. Well, apparently one kid was making a gag video and he put the Tide Pod in his mouth thinking so long as he didn't eat it, it was fine, right? Well, guess what? The casing of the Tide Pod dissolves in water, and the saliva broke it down as he was screwing with it. The detergent busted from it, hit his mouth. He aspirated in shock and inhaled it, vomited, coughed it up, was rushed to the hospital, and now has scar tissue in his lungs. Because people are stupid. He was
to be fair, there was a point, maybe it was only one or two people, but they videotaped themselves licking a toilet seat in like a public bathroom and posted it to the internet. Yo, clout is, we're talking about drugs. Clout is a hell of a drug.
Like, well, so long as I don't actually eat it, As soon as it broke, apparently, it hit his mouth.
Guys, if you see me licking toilet seats for content, please cancel me. Please.
And he went, yup. And then it went down his throat. Not a lot, but enough to cause permanent lung damage. Well, here we are. So
interesting enough, I learned this. Maybe this is just common knowledge, but some things when you ingest, you would think, oh, make them throw it up. But there's some chemicals when you ingest, you don't want them to throw it up. I think you either want them to drink water to dilute it or maybe bread or something, because when they throw it up, because it's like mixed with your stomach acids, it'll come back more corrosive and it'll burn your insides up, or like your throat and stuff with chemical burns as it comes out. So it's best to go to the hospital, dilute it, and then have them pump the stomach, which was just a good little piece of information to have. Because again, you might assume, oh my gosh, make them throw up, make them get it out of their system. And then by doing that, you might actually make this situation worse. So anyway, just my little 2 cents there. I thought that was interesting.
Telling me this story, I'd argue, yeah, I think it's probably true. In a follow-up video, she said,
it's
going to be 6 a.m.
off.
finally. For those of you who don't know me on Twitter, I recommend that you do. I got a very frantic call at 4 a.m. this morning from my husband. This we know. He said, let me tell you something about Tylenol overdosing and death. If you aren't administered the antidote, it's a very slow and very painful death. Tylenol, as well as Benadryl and aspirin, are the 3 most common OTCs that people will typically try to unalive themselves with.
Benadryl, though, that is just, I don't know why that one surprises me.
I don't get so I don't get censored, she said. But I'm pretty, I don't know, have they found unalive yet? But now people...
All right, I'm going to put a pin in my rant about euphemistic language and how I hate it. That way we don't get sidetracked. We're going to come back to it, though, eventually.
People are just taking massive amounts of Tylenol to prove me wrong. I mean, weren't these same people who put Harvard and Fauci at the pillars of science on a pedestal, and now they refuse to believe it? I don't believe it's going to do...
Well, anyway, I just realized, guys, Tim Cash, go check him out. I mean, we kind of got the info already. You know, give him a sub, a like, all the good stuff if you enjoy his content. We watch content from all sorts of different people. All sorts of different people here. Some of them you guys are going to hate. Some of them you guys are going to love. I remember when Jack asked because the thing everyone was jumping through shit and it's just annoying. It was annoying. But I'd rather that than eating laundry detergent. Yeah. Hey, only 40% of people can get a brain freeze? Interesting. I don't know if that's... I don't know. I can't really say one way or the other. I mean, it's interesting if it's true. Now you guys know too much. Oh my gosh. Better place for people to disagree with each other. True. Oh, true. It's the black hole. I know. Who is that? Christopher. I saw that. Matan is he's awesome. He's pretty great with he reminds me of Eric Andre in a way he runs his show / podcast, and just how weird it is. And I appreciate that. I appreciate creators that just do weird stuff, you know, don't follow the same cookie cutter ways of doing things. You said Professor Dave? I feel like I've seen Professor Dave before. Let me see. Oh yeah, Professor Dave. This is from 4 years ago. All right, cool deal. Let's get it. I like finding these older videos because at least they're not tied to the current political climate, right?
All about the science stuff, Professor Dave explains.
All right. If you guys want to check them out, who are watching...
Welcome to Professor Dave.
Okay, calm down. Who are watching right now, boom, Professor Dave Explains, YouTube. Go check them out. In fact, I don't know how I haven't done this yet. Bam, we're subscribed. Let's get it.
We just learned about aspirin, so let's touch on another very popular drug, acetaminophen.
Acetaminophen was first produced in 1877 by Harmon Northrop Morse at Johns Hopkins University. It wasn't tested clinically, however, until 1893, when it was compared against another leading analgesic of the time, phenacetin, by Joseph von Mering. Mering noted that phenacetin use could lead to methemoglobinemia, a condition that limits the transport of oxygen to cells in the body. Because of this, phenacetin was only used extensively until 1949, at which point biochemists David Lester and Leon Greenberg showed that not only does the body metabolize phenacetin into acetaminophen, but also that acetaminophen is just as effective as phenacetin, does not cause methemoglobinemia, and is not carcinogenic, whereas phenacetin is. Consequently, acetaminophen became widely used, and now it is one of the most used drugs in the U.S., commonly combined with other active ingredients in over 600 medicines. Acetaminophen, more commonly known by the brand name Tylenol and also paracetamol as it's called outside of the U.S., is often classified with NSAIDs, or non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. Although it is prescribed as an antipyretic and analgesic, it is not a true NSAID because it has little to no anti-inflammatory activity. Acetaminophen can reduce fever and increase the threshold for painful stimuli. But unlike any NSAID, acetaminophen only very weakly inhibits the cyclooxygenase enzymes that produce prostaglandins which lead to pain, fever, and inflammation. Because of this, acetaminophen is not a suitable substitute for NSAIDs in chronic inflammatory conditions such as rheumatoid arthritis. The mechanism by which acetaminophen produces its effects are actually...
In chat, you said, David Downs says, it is not concrete that acetaminophen is not carcinogenic. Is that true?
Not well known. It has been suggested that it can inhibit cyclooxygenase enzymes more effectively in the brain and central nervous system, leading to its antipyretic and analgesic effects. These sites have a lower concentration of compounds called peroxides, which are produced at sites of inflammation and have been shown to affect how well acetaminophen can inhibit cyclooxygenase enzymes. Others have suggested that this drug could actually inhibit a third cyclooxygenase enzyme, COX-3. Although humans possess the gene that encodes this third COX enzyme, no studies have demonstrated its expression or function in humans. The weak inhibition of cyclooxygenase enzymes makes acetaminophen a good choice for pain and fever relief with little of the blood thinning or gastric effects that are common to other NSAIDs. Acetaminophen is therefore prescribed in children and certain adult populations, like asthmatics, who may have bad reactions to aspirin. Though acetaminophen use does not produce the common NSAID side effects, it can at high doses cause liver toxicity, which is an inflammation of the liver. Acetaminophen can be processed by the liver to be removed from the body by two pathways. Normally, acetaminophen is metabolized in a process called conjugation, where a drug or its metabolite are chemically coupled to an additional molecule to increase its solubility and ability to be removed from the body. Within the levels of a safe dose, molecules of sulfate or glucuronide are covalently bound to acetaminophen in order for it to be excreted.
Okay.
Too much acetaminophen, however, will overload or saturate this pathway, causing excess drug to be shunted to a pathway where it is metabolized via oxidation by the liver enzyme cytochrome 3A4, or CYP3A4. Metabolism of acetaminophen by CYP3A4 creates a toxic product called NAPQI, which must be conjugated to a molecule called glutathione in order to be excreted. High levels of acetaminophen overloading this pathway can deplete stores of glutathione, leaving the reactive NAPQI product to covalently bind to and disrupt other proteins in the liver, leading to potentially fatal liver dysfunction. This risk is more significant in people who are fasting or consuming alcohol. malnutrition can lead to the depletion of glutathione stores, thus limiting the liver's ability to protect itself from the toxic NAPQI metabolite.
So NAPQI attaches to, what is it? Glutathione.
The liver's ability to protect itself from the toxic of glutathione stores.
Glutathione, okay. Boom, takes it out of your system. But if you don't have the glutathione, then it can't take it out of your system, and it bonds to other things that messes up stuff. This is my layman's interpretation of what he's saying.
Thus limiting the liver's ability to protect itself from the toxic NAPQI metabolite. And consuming alcohol can strain the liver as well as induce or increase the amount of CYP3A4 enzymes that generate NAPQI from acetaminophen. So with acetaminophen covered, let's move on to another of the best known drugs in the world, ibuprofen. Thanks for watching.
You said I've destroyed my kidneys taking just ibuprofen. I've never been a drinker ever. Were you taking excessive amounts of it? Did you take a high dose? Were you taking it daily? Just out of curiosity.
Subscribe to my channel for more tutorials. Support me on Patreon so I can keep making content.
Yeah, definitely check him out. Professor Dave Explains. I've caught his videos on... He debates people. I like debates. I think he debates like flat earthers and, well, people that are, you know, just claiming fringe science things. He comes out and debates them, and he's all right. I like some of his stuff. You know, I try to catch a bunch of different viewpoints. He's, I would say, somewhat abrasive. Like, he's a bit aggressive as like an interlocutor. Like, he comes at you, and I appreciate that in some ways. I don't want to get too caught up on his stuff, but yeah, Professor Dave Explains. Oh, you took it every day for years. Damn, that sucks. It's build up, not excess. Stream of kidneys. Man, that's tough. Especially because, you know, people, when you think of Tylenol and you think of ibuprofen, I think a lot of people just think it's safe, right? Oh, it's just Tylenol. Oh, it's just ibuprofen. You know, you don't really think about popping them, but then it has these effects and you just don't know about it until, you know, it's too late. You've like done the damage. Huh. But, oh man, I'll pull up the next thing here. Give me a sec. He was only talking about it in terms of pregnant women. So, you know, he was really just warning, I think, one demographic of like, hey, you'll want to be careful with this. He said SQVM. Seems like it's only a problem. We can get both of those at once. Straight. I drink lots of water. I'm not overweight at all. Damn. Ibuprofen gives me explosive diarrhea. Huh. And doesn't do anything for pain, so no, I don't ingest it. Really? Ibuprofen, I think ibuprofen does me well. I think it does me well. I tried to lift a shed. Actually, I successfully lifted a shed. It was sitting on a pallet. Long story short, we had to move a shed. We were trying to discuss of like, how are we going to move the shed? Do we have to take it apart? Do we have to empty it? And I was like, yo, there's 3 of us here. I'm pretty sure we can lift the platform that the shed is on and move it. They weren't listening to me, so I had to prove it, and I lifted it. I nearly broke my back. My form was not great. Nearly broke my damn back. I was taking ibuprofen. I really, really thought I messed up my back for the rest of my life. The ibuprofen helped, but for like 2 weeks, I was having some like serious back pain. So ibuprofen seems to help me, at least for stuff like that. Like that was bad. I could barely bend over at all. I was walking around like I had like a stick or like a plank, you know, on my back. Like I couldn't like bend over, like the bottom of my spine where it like connects to your ass or whatever. Oh my gosh. it just was, it took a while for that to disappear. Like even after the 2 weeks, it would still like hurt a little bit. I thought I broke myself. I'm turning Amish so I don't get the autism. Oh my gosh. I swell when I was pregnant with my... You said your feet didn't swell. Is that like a normal thing when you're pregnant? Your feet swell? It says both, but yeah, both are worse. My feet swell like I'm 9 months pregnant with twins. Do they swell just because of the extra weight on your feet? Is that the idea? They want women to feel the pain because white nationalists, it's Project 2025. They want women to feel pain because Eve sinned. It's biblical. You know, I entertain a lot of ideas, Johnny. I like fringe ideas. I find them very interesting to entertain and think about, ponder, contemplate. I think I said contemplate. That one, you know, X'd it out. It's possible, I suppose, but I don't think that's the case. Why is people's feet swelling up? I don't get fluid swelling, but I get swelling over joints with immune system is angry. Compression socks help a lot, or help a ton. You said remember. I'll remember. Hey, Johnny, I'll remember you said it. All right. And if we have evidence that supports your claim, I hope you're here to say I told you so. And I'll be like, you know what? You told me. You told me. I didn't listen. You were right. I was wrong. All right. I got kicked in the junk and it hurt really bad. I didn't mind so much because my junk looked bigger. You were like, I'm not taking any ibuprofen. Let the inflammation come. Oh my Lord. That's funny. I have a funny story. That's for another time. That's for another time. Has anybody ever had their log split? I'm gonna leave it at that. No context. Anyway, moving on. Silver linings. No, with ibuprofen, my feet swell up to my knees. They look like a... Wait, because you take ibuprofen? Interesting. We have 4 kids, and my wife was just totally anti-meds instinctively. Not anti-vaxxers or nothing. Yeah, no, exactly. I don't have any kids or kids on the way or anything, but I would be very... What's the word? Cautious. I mean, I'm not a woman, right? I'm not the one ingesting it, but I'd be very cautious about, I don't know, what she would ingest and stuff, right? Like, you're not gonna be smoking, obviously. You're not gonna be drinking, obviously. I'd be super paranoid. I don't know how parents do it. I don't know how y'all do it. I remember it too. I'm all familiar with the women deserve it because Eve not... Really? I have never heard that. I have never heard that. Like, I get the meme of like, oh, Eve messed everything up for everybody, but I've never heard anybody actually use that unironically in an argument. Like, I'll make an ironic joke about it, but what's funnier is the swelling, like, likely permanently enlarged the day. So what you're telling me is, don't click on the ads on the internet. Just hit myself. Okay. I'm going to keep it in mind. Not for me. For a friend. Some people think the rapture is here. So, yeah, we missed it. It was a day or two ago, right? So either we missed it or we didn't have a ticket. We might not have had a ticket. But I feel like we would have noticed a bunch of people disappearing. So, I don't know. Did most people just not make the cut? Are we graded on a curve? Whatever, it doesn't even matter. You want to hear, wait, African Rapture Man, September 27th? Okay, because that's what everybody was talking about. Wait, the 27th? What's today? What? The Rapture's today? Damn. It's gonna be a shame if I, do chores, work, do responsibilities, and then you know, the world comes crashing down. What's the topic subject? The last subject. All of a sudden, I'm confused about how we got. Welcome to the Black Hole radio broadcast. Sometimes I'm very put together and I have like all of my stuff lined up and I have a theme. And sometimes I start my stream at 2 a.m. I don't go to sleep. And you find yourself here, you know, maybe you sat down on the toilet, maybe you were in the car. I don't know why you're scrolling in the car. It's kind of dangerous, but you're here. We're going to find the topic together. Oh, yeah. I thought it was a couple days ago. I think they're just moving it now. They're moving the goalposts. All right. They're moving the finish line. Watch enough religious Kellen shows, you'll encounter apparently genuinely horrible ideas aplenty. Craziness. We missed it. Oh my god. You said if you see children still, the rapture didn't happen. So you're saying that all children, it's like all dogs go to heaven, it's like all children go to heaven? Like all the kids go to heaven? You clean the bathroom right now, you're gonna stop and get rapture ready. You might as well at this point. 23rd, 24th was rapture day, apparently. Well, what calendar are we using, right? Or just look at police records anywhere, rural, isolated, so much abuse. Wait, what are you talking about? Abuse of what? Strike a weird pose, so your clothes fall funny too. Oh, right. So you think people are just gonna be zapped out of their clothes, like, and they're gone? The dead rise first. Okay, look, if the dead rise, okay. I think I'll try to do at least one more stream and be like, hey guys, it looks like it's the rapture. Not Walking Dead, Rising Dead. This is getting very morbid, guys. I like it. I'm just playing. All right, I'm gonna put on some tunes for y'all, and I'm gonna use the bathroom. Boom. Thank you for stopping at the Black Hole Radio. Please remember, if you get too close, you will get sucked in. All right, I'll be right back. Okie dokie. Oh. Said joke's on me. You were in the bathroom the whole time. Look at you. Do they make... Bro. Oh my gosh. I think I just came up with $1 million idea. I'm a genius. Catheters for streamers. Right? It's frustrating. You have to get up and go use the bathroom in the middle of a stream, right? It messes up the whole flow of things. Or maybe a special bottle, right? Wait, that's a Foley? A Foley? They exist. Damn. Ah. All right. Well, hey, you know what? I'll come up with more ideas. I will come up with more ideas. Ooh, back in the station. All right. Gamer chair toilets. Yes. Yes, quite. I think there's something here, guys. Gatorade bottle. Okay, Gatorade bottles are great because of their wide mouth, I have to say. Look, I was a delivery driver for a short time. 9 months a year, something like that. The amount of bottles... This is probably TMI. The amount of bottles I have filled with piss, all right? Another good one, Monster cans. The big Monster cans with the screw lid. Fantastic. Fantastic. Anyway, beside the point. Actually, no, never mind. It is the point. What am I talking about? Calling all artists in chat. If you guys make music, just saying, we could play it on stream. We were playing another chatter's music on stream in the last stream. Wonderful stuff. He's a part of a metal band. Beautiful stuff. What do we got here? Gamer toilet with a DoorDash tube for direct food delivery. Yo. They say alcohol hits harder if you boof it. I don't recommend that, though. It's very dangerous. All right. Well, Tilly, if you make some music or some art, do you draw, Tilly? Does anybody draw? You know, as long as it's YouTube appropriate. I'm always looking for new bottles of pee. Monster, not the can. Okay. Well, it's a can, but it's the big can with the screw lid. Okay. I'm just saying, it's got a wide mouth. It's very large. Okay. Because if you guys have peed in bottles before and you had to do the old switcheroo, cut the stream and open another bottle and finish up, it's, you know, a hassle. So these are just my 2 cents. I'm just trying to help. All right. Exactly. It bypasses the liver. Very dangerous stuff, guys. Don't do it. Don't try this at home, guys. Takes a fifth up the ass. Wow. Yes. You said it's an epidemic in Canada. Would you say truck drivers throw piss bottles all down the highway? As you got closer to an Amazon distribution like warehouse, you will see, not always, you know, but you will tend to see piss bottles on the side of the road. Pretty nasty stuff. Okay, you draw safe for work. Okay. I draw as well. Some safe for work, some not safe for work. So I'm trying to get into like manga, anime stuff. So, but also perspective and like realism and stuff. I don't know, a bunch of different things. I have a lot of different little hobbies and stuff. So, don't throw the bottle out the truck. I don't know why people do that. Just throw it in the garbage. But hey. You said usually. Wrecked him. Damn near killed him. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Be careful what you guys boof, okay? Not everything is meant to be boofed. Is it boofed? That's the word, right? Holy shit. Tilly, thank you for pointing that out. I gotta go back and do a reread. Wrecked him. Damn near killed him. Hold up. Hold up. I didn't even realize the genius. I didn't realize the genius. Fan-fucking-tastic. One of those two. Why not? Why not? Actually, that reminds me. I told this one earlier. Guys, what did the drunk egg say at the party? I'm lit. That is all. I know. I know. It's a knee slapper. There we go. Slapped it. Slapped it good. I'm getting tangled in cords here. All right. I'm going back to this because I was vibing with it. Yes. Butt chugging. 98% isopropyl alcohol. Ma'am. Hey, take it easy, Greg. Stay safe out there. It's a crazy world. All right. Do not boof the Tylenol. I repeat, do not boof the Tylenol. I want to catch up with Candace Owens, but not right now. But she's on my list of like people I need to catch up on and see what the hell she's saying. Yeah, I can't imagine how much that burns. Candace is being sued? Whoa. For what? I don't care. I mean, I just don't know. I have not been keeping up with her. I just know she's been putting numbers on the board. I ended up on one of her lives, and I was just 170,000 concurrent viewers on one of her last lives. My mind was blown. Blown. Wait, the French president's wife is suing for defamation? I don't know what Joe's saying lately. It's so hit and miss with Joe content. If I play his content on my stream, sometimes it blocks my stream worldwide. Sometimes it's cool. I don't know. It really just depends. I really think it depends who his guest is. I tried to react to I think it was the Terrence Howard, Eric Weinstein. Is that what it was? You know Terrence Howard, right? From Hustle and Flow. I believe it's the first Iron Man movie. It's Terrence Howard, right? Yeah, YouTube did not like that one. Oh no. His opinion blows with the wind. I like Joe for just a curator, right? Some creators, some people on the internet are curators, right? They bring you the people, the interesting interviews, or they bring together a bunch of interesting information and other people's videos and stuff, and they feed it to you, right? Or in his case, interview somebody, has a conversation and whatnot, right? And I think he's good at that. And I say that because, I mean, look at his discography. He's got everybody's come on to Joe Rogan. You could be right, you could be left, you could be a sports guy, a comedian, a scientist, a politician, whatever, right? And I think that's great. So I do kind of want to watch a Ty Rivera video because I haven't seen one in a minute. I know Tilly, I don't think you like Ty Rivera. I like Ty Rivera. I don't know. I like his content. You don't want anything curated by that ass. You have to open your heart, Tilly. You have to open your heart to the other side. If you can't understand the other side, how will you ever convince them of your ways? Anyway, you'd rather watch a literal ass. That's not really saying much, because you might be into that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, Candace says the French president's wife is a man, and she provided in court evidence that she is in fact a woman. Oh Lord. Fake math. Are you talking about the fake? Are you talking about the, what is it? 1 × 1 = 2, right? With Terrence Howard. 1 × 1 = 2. And I try to understand people, be open-minded and like entertain ideas. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Teriology. Yes, sir. Oh my gosh. Good stuff. I mean, good stuff. And this is my... Okay, yes, Joe used to curate. It's funny because a lot of people are falling off of Joe. You have the people that always hated him, I think because of media spin, my personal belief. But now you have the long-time audience. I've heard a lot of, I don't want to say old heads, but people that have watched Joe for a long time that say he's fallen off. He's been compromised. He's not like he used to be. I remember Alex Jones, Eddie Bravo, the conspiracy talks. It was a lot of fun. Now it does seem a lot more contained, a lot safer. But I think there's still interesting conversations being had there. Although I think he is, and I think he's even mentioned this kind of a little bit, or alluded to it, being kind of used as a, I mean, he's being used, right, for his platform by people, so, but I guess that's just part of the game. No, I hate him because he's an obnoxious, useless piece of shit. Tilly, damn it. You know, sometimes when people go hard, it just makes me want to just play devil's advocate. Okay, you know what? Maybe we'll do one. How about, I think I got one. I really like this one. Oh, what is his name? Daryl Davis? Is it Daryl Davis? This is a solid episode. Can I just do a clip? Do you guys got clips? Is YouTube gonna like this? I don't know. I don't know how YouTube's gonna feel about this one. Pull that up. Yo, did you see the moose getting hit by the car? Pull that up, Jamie. I need a... Yo, Jamie. No, I don't have a Jamie. I need a Jamie. Tilly, don't do that. You cannot just close your ears and close your eyes. I'm telling you, I've got a decent clip. Okay? It's a decent clip. But again, it's not even about really what Joe says. It's about the people that he's bringing on his platform, right? And I think this is a positive one that you can get behind. Well, you might disagree with it in some ways, but I feel the overall message you will agree with. Oh my gosh, Tilly. I like that he used to listen to everyone. I think COVID broke yeah. COVID did break a lot of people. I am a JRE old head. Since Death Squad days, he's a complete shill. Some people said, I kept seeing people say, since the Fleshlight guy, which I'm scratching my brain. Like, I was like, do I remember the Fleshlight guy? But a lot of people said after that, he went downhill and he became a shill. I was hearing that the other day. I've been listening to Joe since 08. I used to engineer new homes. Jim Rome Rush. Oh, and Joe Rogan was the vibe back then. Yeah, I mean, Joe's definitely got me through some long shifts. It's a shame you know, he got so politicized. Fleshlight was just a major sponsor for every show back then. Oh, okay, I see. Tilly, tell me you're still here. Don't be like this, please. Don't be like this. I pulled this one up just for you. And you're gonna leave? Don't be like this, Tilly. You don't like Nuxanor. You don't like Ty Rivera. You don't like Joe Rogan. Who can I play? It could be huge. Oh my gosh, guys, come on. All right, well, I think Tilly has left the building. Nick Fuentes. We could fire up some Nick Fuentes at some point. I mean, he's been doing numbers too. I don't watch Nick Fuentes so much. You know, I catch him, you know, when he makes his waves and splashes and stuff. I have to say, you know, him coming out and saying, hey guys, after the Charlie Kirk assassination, hey guys, do not retaliate. If you commit violence because of this, you are not, you know, a part of my community. I condemn you. You know, and I thought that was a good message to send out. So I'll give him a point for that. He's trying to come back to YouTube. Apparently YouTube banned him again. Because I think they were talking about unbanning people. So him and Alex Jones tried to make accounts and they got like instantly banned or banned very quickly, from what I understand. You could be huge. That is a good message and definitely need to be said. Yeah, indeed. Dude. You said Ranger Day Bro CK video was crazy. We covered that. So we covered that a day or two ago. And he went on Twitter. Let me see if I can pull that up. He went on Twitter and it seems as though he was backtracking. Let me pull up his tweet. Because you're talking about the bullet coming from behind on his right side. I ended up, yeah, like looking into that one. I want to pull up his tweet so I get this right. Oh, where's his name? Oh, Range Day Bro, that's right. Range Day Bro. All right, let me see here real quick.
So I did do the request. They emailed me back.
Oh, I swear he made a tweet. Let me check his channel. I know I just saw something from him that seemed to me like it was backtracking. Maybe not. Let me see.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel for another earpiece on Charlie Kirk. And I concur. I agree with him.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay. I'm not going to say he was walking it back completely. He said that if you watch the video, he was saying it looks as though there's a blood splatter behind him, indicating that he was hit from the back and it splattered out. Now he's saying it appears it might be just the wire for the microphone.
In his analysis, because you could see it on his security guards, you could see it on his security team, but you cannot see it on Charlie himself. As you can see right here, he points out that his security team is wearing an earpiece, and you'd be able to clearly see it from this angle. Maybe not from the front or even from the side as much, but from the back here, you'd be able to clearly see the earpiece. And he does show, you can see again here, he's showing a very clear angle. There is no earpiece.
Oh, okay. Well, hold up.
So without dragging this issue
Well, here, let me pull it up on screen.
out any further and alluding to an earpiece and there being an earpiece or not being, there was not an earpiece. It has been confirmed by Candace Owens, and she confirmed.
Real quick, this is Range Day Bro. He dropped a banger, or at least a video doing big numbers. Right here, 6.3 million in 4 days. All right, quick synopsis. Proof of Charlie Kirk being shot from behind, not the front, like the official story says. Proof. I mean, what he alleges in the video, that's what he alleges. I'm alleging that's what he alleges. I'm covering all my bases here, guys. Big numbers. That's why I covered it in the first place. It had done 1 million views in like an hour or two after I watched it. And I was just watching the number climb. I jump on Candace Owens' live stream. People are spamming it, and I just started seeing it being spammed everywhere. So I was like, you know what? Let's look into this. The crack of the self, it shot rang many times. Impact was made, and the entry wound is more likely frontal. Wait, POE. Point of. I don't know why I'm lost right now. What is text plays? What are you talking about? Is that like a channel or something? Or is that somebody in chat? Hold up. Let me know what text plays is. I typed it in. I might look into it. You're backtracking on his... Yes! Yes, I am. I'm backtracking on his backtracking. Well... He was making it sound like it was blood splatter. That I swear I just saw something that he said it was an earpiece. Maybe he deleted that. Now he's saying it doesn't appear that Charlie Kirk was wearing an earpiece. You know, this is breaking news. This is fresh stuff, you know? So... Text play show. Okay. I pulled it up. I think I have their channel up. But I might backtrack on the backtracking of the backtracking. So just give me a sec. He's a Call of Duty guy. Okay. Well, a couple of you guys have mentioned them now. I think we might touch Ranger Day video real quick. Ranger Day, bro. I don't know what I just said. Let me look at text plays here. All right. Let's see what he's got. Male feminists versus toxic gamers. Rage baiting OF star on Call of Duty. VR comedian bombs set and crashes out. VR comedian. I might have to try VR comedian. That seems like a pretty low stakes way to get involved in comedy. Rage baiting gamer girls by calling them strays. This looks like it might be some Some juicy content. Subscribe. Awesome. We subscribed. I think we'll pull that up next. Ooh, is that a gamer girl? Oh my gosh. Rage baiter extraordinaire. Oh, I love it. I love it. You know, a good sophisticated troll, a sophisticated, classy rage bait. It's priceless.
A very clear angle. There is no earpiece. So without dragging this issue out any further and alluding to an earpiece and there being an earpiece or not being, there was not an earpiece. It has been confirmed by Candace Owens, and she confirmed he was also not wearing body armor. So those are two facts, if you want to call them that. She was told directly by TPUSA or by Eric, I can't remember, by trusted sources that he was not wearing an earpiece and he was not wearing body armor. So if you believe that, I clearly don't see an earpiece, so that's very simple and easy for me to believe that. So most likely what we see blow off, and what I was thinking and what I was calling blood splatter from the back right side of Charlie's head, is most likely his necklace. And it looks...
there we go. Necklace. All right.
It seems to me that it has broken apart. Right here. Let's let this skip ahead a little bit and you'll see. There it is. You can see it's broken apart. So I've paused it perfectly here where you can see his chain clearly snaps off down here.
I'm making it bigger for myself really quick. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, this angle, I don't think I've seen this angle.
In the front, so it lifts his shirt up in the front and lifts his shirt up in the back. It snaps and it comes up and it looks like an earpiece because of that angle on it. Also, this would correspond with the video footage that I showed as the blood splatter, because you can see how it's bent that way and it could be bent down.
Right.
It could be bent up here in just a second. Obviously, it's going too fast for this video, this camera angle to catch it. And then it continues on back, and you can see it back here again. This line right here across this gentleman's shirt, you can very clearly see a wire, which people were assuming was the earpiece, but it's very clearly his necklace. So was it the shockwave of Charlie's neck being hit either from the front or his neck and head being hit from the back that simply lifted up the shirt in the back? Or was it the chain? I would say it's probably the chain based off of what we saw in the front, which is very clearly his chain breaking and lifting up his shirt. So I think it's more likely that puff in the back that Jesse's attributing to the like inertia from the bullet hitting him in the neck, like pushing his back, like the back of his shirt out. It just doesn't make any sense because the bullet, according to the official narrative, does not have an exit wound. It was found directly under his skin, which is another thing we need to discuss. The man of steel theory, which is like gaslighting at its finest. But I just don't see that puff as being attributed to confirming that the shot was from the front. I just don't see the logic in that, right? We're not really trying to stretch the imagination. That's what the official narrative is doing. I'm trying to explain it in the simplest terms. Occam's razor, what is most likely to have caused this injury in the way that we saw it? And that in the front seemed to me to be pretty definitively an exit wound. But we're going to talk about all of the evidence for and against the original theory, right? Because the original theory was that we saw that gush of blood out the back right side of Charlie's head. Now we can see that that's not blood. In fact, that's his necklace. So we're kind of back to square one. We don't have any...
Yo, Johnny, did you see that video? There was like a man standing in the front and it almost appears like he goes like this. Like he moves his hand in such a way that he could have been like aiming and shot. Is that what you're referring to?
Like 100% smoking gun proof at this point, because that's confirmed to not be a blood splatter there. But we're going to talk about, again, both reasons for and against the theory that he was shot in the back, and for and against, again, that he was shot in the front of the neck. And I'm going to do my best to address these guys. Again, I had so much coming in.
All right, so I'm backtracking. Well, I want to say I'm backtracking. I was right about the necklace earpiece part, kind of, sort of, right? If I did say he was completely backtracking on it, then I take that back.
Lifetime is not enough time to address every single one of these. So we also talked about body armor. Candace Owens has dispelled the body armor claim. The Bush shooter. Okay, so in this portion of the video, I take a random photo from the internet here, and I put this guy here to...
Now, this little thing right here, if we could find more footage from the event, locate this bush, and see if the bush is there at the beginning of the event, the middle of the event, the end of the event, or after everything happens. if the bush appears to not be there, then it's there, then it's not there. There might be something to what he's getting at here. Otherwise, it might just be a bush, guys.
Show what it would look like if this image had been cleared up, and if in fact there was a person sitting there with a rifle aiming down at Charlie. This is not a depixelated version of what is here. This is not like in the movies when you see like enhance, and you just like this emerges from this blur. That's just not how photos work. This is something that I got off the internet for reference for you guys. This has nothing to do. This man was never at the crime scene. Neither was this rifle. And a lot of other evidence points to it happening from over here much lower. In fact, if the FBI came out with a...
So you're saying that the exit wound would be bigger and the hole in the front is too small to be an exit wound. What else did you say? Oh, Occam's razor. Yeah, I mean, I suppose.
Convincing story that was actually like somewhat believable, I don't think I would have ever even gone down this path. I'm not a political channel. I talk about guns here on the channel. So it is just impossible to wrap your head around a 30-06 entering right here at the front of the throat. Whether it was from an angle of elevation or not, it is so impossible. And I'm going to show you guys this video because this perfectly coincidentally lined up with my timeline today. So I'm going to show you guys this video right here, which is exactly what happens when a 30-06 enters a ballistic gelatin head.
So today on Dual Liberty Firearms.
Jesus.
So I'm going to show you guys this video right here, which is exactly what happens when a 30-06 enters a ballistic gelatin head.
So today on Dual Liberty...
Okay, so does distance matter? Yo, David Downs, if you have any info on this, because some people were saying it would be a lot different based on distance, the entry and exit wounds, or does that not make that big of a difference? Obviously, I imagine point blank range would make a difference, but I'm talking 30 yards versus 100 yards versus 200 yards.
Firearms. We're going to be showing you what a 30-06 does to a ballistics gel skull.
And before people call bullshit on this video...
It depends on ammunition calibers. Okay.
5 years ago. So this guy had no idea how relevant his video would be today. In fact, a lot of the comments are like talking about how this dude disproved the FBI's claims.
Anything under 300 meters doesn't matter for that caliber. Also type.
Before they were even made public.
Type, okay, yeah.
Anyways, big shout out to these guys. What is this? What's the name of this channel here? Dual Liberty Firearms. There you go. Absolutely smoked. Very similar looking bolt action rifle to the one the FBI claimed was used. You can see very clearly what happens when a 30-06 enters soft tissue. So if they want you to believe that Charlie Kirk was the man of steel and this was a miracle, that God stopped that bullet.
But doesn't that mean for the bullet to have been stopped, wouldn't it have had to have hit his spine? Or hit a bone, and even then, wouldn't it have ricocheted, or possibly ricocheted out?
Just under his skin. Show us the bullet. Show us the autopsy, guys. Show everybody the proof that makes us say, you know what? Case closed. That crazy 22-year-old did it. I want to see that. I don't want to believe in this grand conspiracy that our government has the capability to do this, or to turn the other way when somebody else's government does it. Not implying anything. I don't know anything at all. Again, the more I learn about this case, the weirder things get. This is what happens to a human head that has, and ballistics gelatin is not 1-for-1, obviously. This is as close as we can get, but you can see what happens.
The head, that head.
Oh, ball.
There was not much below in the head.
It's interesting they blur that.
Right there. Guys, if he got the side of the neck, what was stopping his neck from blowing out? That even just one side, let alone an exit wound, let alone an exit wound. People who are talking crap in my comment section, my other video, saying that I'm a product of the left, like I'm trying to get this guy off. I got no dog in this fight. The truth is the only thing I'm after. And again, I'm more than willing to admit when I'm wrong if new evidence comes out that is convincing enough. But the more time that goes by, the more it seems like this evidence is very convenient, like the screwdriver, for instance.
You said, yeah, tendons and flesh aren't the same as... Yeah, like you said, it's not a 1-to-1. But are tendons and flesh, I mean, are they that strong to be able to stop that? I mean, according to the official narrative, yes, right? Again, unless it hit his spine, I guess, right? Violently changing course dependent on conditions and posture. It's crazy. They thought America would believe this stunt when you people are the most gun-loving on the planet.
They claim that Tyler Robinson assembled.
Some ammo is made to mushroom upon impact, creating a larger exit wound. That would be like a hollow point round, right? Right, because the hollow point, the point of it, well, I guess it's not mushrooming. Well, it kind of is, right? Because it like breaks down, so it has more surface area, so it blows out a bigger hole, right? Or are you talking about something else?
And disassembled his gun, and then to get it up there, then assembled it to take the shot, and then disassembled it to leave, and then reassembled it in the forest, but he left the screwdriver on the roof. So how did he reassemble it in the forest? Again, the story is beyond belief. Let's just put it that way. That's why we are out here. That's why that's why that video resonated with so many people. You could point
Hollow
to
point mushrooms is completely different. Okay. And you said, does it necessarily have to be a hollow point? Okay.
Oh, he was wrong about that. I'm just simply pointing out the thing that looks like a duck, it walks like a duck, it might be a duck. That's all I'm saying. So let's get back to my video where we're going to debunk or offer the other side of the story.
Somebody in chat said that there was somebody above the bush, possibly on the roof.
They addressed the bushman, the bush shooter, okay? At the moment I had seen it, that looked a little convincing. Now I do have my photos pulled up here, and this is a picture. I want to give credit where credit's due. John Cullen said, resolution matters, problem solved.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Boom.
It's just the exact same photo from the exact same time. Again, I'm not even saying that the bushman was the guy who shot him. It doesn't appear that it would line up perfectly, or at least ideally for that situation. It would line up, but not perfect. But again, like, what do you think the shooter's just going to be hanging out there? That's not my hill to die on. I don't care if it was the bushman or not. I care more about what happened than truth. So if this disproves the Bush theory, fine, so be it. Do I still think it was probably from his back right? Yes. So let's go back to the video. In this footage, we can see, again, what I originally thought was blood splatter. This is most likely his necklace snapping. It flies up in the front. This is most likely his necklace right here as well. It flies up, probably snaps around this area somewhere. This side comes up and over and back as Charlie falls to his left. That's another thing. Everyone's like, he got shot in the front because he fell straight back. He didn't fall straight back, guys. I want to show you this footage real quick. This is my buddy's video once again.
Do you fall straight back if you're shot from the front? Is that how that works?
And he shows this footage right here. I'll blur whatever's necessary, but you will see the trajectory, the direction that Charlie's body goes in. It does make sense.
300 meters back after hitting dense bone, maybe anything under 300, it's going through. The angle and visibility of the tent.
Getting hit in the back of the skull right here. Charlie is struck, and then he falls in the direction that he was shot. Yeah, now he does lean back, right? I mean, but a bullet whizzing through your head and neck that quickly, especially something which it was probably, and we're getting ahead of ourselves here, it was probably a suppressed 5.56 round, if I had to guess. It was probably a 55 grain full metal jacket, judging by the small size of the exit wound.
So wait, I thought they were saying 30-06. Or is he saying like what he thinks, right?
A 55 grain full metal jacket, judging by the small size of the exit wound on the front of his neck, assuming it's an exit wound, right? Allegedly an exit wound. That 55 grain bullet's not displacing much tissue, and it's not a heavy projectile in and of itself. So here you have a guy who understands the audio from all of these different camera angles, all of these different individuals who were filming the event, and using science to time exactly when that device registered the sound, and then circulating that back to one location and triangulating it pretty much based off of that audio. And all of it points back to this area where the bushman was. Now, is that definitive? No, but again, it's just another piece of information pointing in that direction of the gunshot coming from. And he simply says, even at the maximum error margin, a shot from the rooftop simply does not match the audio. So there you have it, just another piece of information pointing in the direction of the back right of Charlie. Now let's go back to the original topic, the main video that I put out, the main theory that I was discussing. I want to give Valhalla VFT a huge shout out on this because I think his analysis was perfect. He talked about the new information from Jesse on Fire, that new angle, and he also brought up my video and talked about how this does not completely debunk this angle, right? He also brought up the audio engineers triangulating and figuring out that the shot most likely came from that back right, near the Bushman, near that area somewhere over there. And also he pointed out that the entrance wound typically does not bleed, especially not right away. So what I originally thought was blood splatter is in fact Charlie's necklace, does not 100% negate the theory that he was shot from his back right. In fact, it kind of verifies it even more, because if it's not blood, there's a more of a higher likelihood that it's actually an entrance wound, because again, entrance wounds don't bleed the way that we saw the front of Charlie's neck bleeding, okay? So if Charlie is hit right here in his hairline where we're kind of alleging he's hit, you wouldn't be able to see it from this grainy. Even this new footage from Jesse on Fire, it's way too grainy to tell if there's a small 223 entrance hole, because again, the hole would only be the size, the diameter of the bullet, even smaller sometimes, because again, the skin and the tissue is going to kind of seal back up over itself. Not completely, but enough to be slightly smaller than the diameter of the bullet that entered, okay? So again, I want to give a big shout out to Valhalla VFT for talking about this in a very objective way. So the next thing I want to discuss is Charlie's hair jolting forward. I said that because he was hit in the back of the head, his head kind of moved forward very quickly. His hair was lying at rest, and then it had been, it kind of had needed to catch up. And so you can see that clearly. And when his head jolts forward like that, you can see his head jolting forward from being struck from the back. Could this be explained by a throat shot? I don't see it quite that easy. If he had been hit in the chest, I could see his chest going backwards and therefore his head going forward. But you can see very clearly Charlie's head snaps down and to his left. Could that be explained by the shot in the throat? Yeah, it could. So there you go. There's me playing devil's advocate for you guys. I still think it points more to him getting shot in the back right side of his head, but it is possible. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is the exit wound and the skin being pulled right here that I see. So a lot of people were trying to explain this as like the shirt was folded weird or the shirt was creased or something like that. But as you can see in the footage here, there is a black spot right there that then corresponds with a black spot on Charlie's shirt directly after the bullet exits, allegedly. So right there you can see it. You can see the exit wound and then either a blood stain or a hole in the shirt from the bullet pulling through. This is one of the biggest arguments against my video as well, in stating that you would not be able to see the projectile because the frame rate of an iPhone is 30 frames per second. Now, anybody who uses an iPhone knows that new iPhones have incredibly good cameras. Now, they're not high-speed cameras that can catch bullets flying, typically. But when a bullet strikes tissue and slows down to the point where it has to travel from here to here, it's going to slow down significantly. And I believe that what we saw, his skin stretching, may not even have been the bullet. It may have been the bullet already passed through and exited through his shirt or just above his shirt and continued traveling on. It may have very well been his skin just hadn't had time to retract yet, because as we all know, when you watch high-speed footage of shooting through something soft or elastic, you see it stretch, and then after the projectile passes through, then it starts to retract. But it lags behind the projectile slightly, so we could have caught just his skin after the bullet had already passed through. I'm not saying we caught the bullet right as it was about to poke out of his skin. I'm just saying it's a possibility, guys, okay? And to me, all of this is looking like the most possible scenario, as many of you guys agree, right? Because the video wouldn't have done as well as it did if most of the people didn't actually agree with what was being said. It makes the most sense. I'm just asking you to believe what your eyes are showing you, right? I'm just putting it all together in a cohesive way, and you guys all agree that that is probably the most likely scenario, right? And I do as well. But I'm not married to this idea. Again, if I see new information, I will correct the narrative. So another thing I want to address is the angle of the shot. So I show this arrow here as far as the bullet trajectory. This was just the simplest, most direct line from entry to the exit, but most likely this angle, this angle of bullet is sitting up here in the tent somewhere. You would not be able to actually shoot Charlie or actually see him to shoot him, and I don't believe he was shot blindly through the tent. So most likely the trajectory is much flatter, like this, coming in from the side, and it hit his skull And as everybody's been saying, to explain the magic bullet of 2025, that it stopped at his spine, the Man of Steel, bullets do weird things when they enter flesh. So let me stop for a moment and pause and say, is it possible it stopped at his vertebrae? 1 in a million? I'm not going to say that, because I would just be saying that to cover my own ass and say, oh, well, anything's possible. Yeah, anything is possible with the power of God. But in this case, ballistics don't lie. I believe the bullet probably came in from below the tarp of the tent, from this angle, struck Charlie, and then...
How would we ever, like, I guess it's just, if nobody releases it, unless you have some sort of like bombshell evidence, I'm not sure how you're ever supposed to prove that, especially when the official narrative, you know, saying the opposite.
It's probably struck him right around here, around the base of his hairline. So it's much more likely the bullet came in from this trajectory here, hit the base of his hairline, hit the base of his stem and spinal column, causing him to tense up, causing his head to go down and to the left, and then kind of moved its way down here and exited out the front here. So that is much more likely. I put this here to kind of show the like, for people who don't understand what bullets do when they hit things, the simplest way to understand that is just, okay, straight through. But it's most likely his tent was above there, so no one would have had the vantage point to actually hit him from that angle. It was most likely a much more flat, I wouldn't say much flatter, but a flatter trajectory, because you'd have to see what you're shooting at. I don't think someone took a blind shot through a tarp. So with that being said, or the cover of the tent, I believe it was more...
They could have. I mean, you guys heard about the shooting on the ICE facility. Apparently, from the sounds of it, the shooter was just shooting into an ICE van, ended up shooting detainees and didn't hit any officers, from what I understand. So some people might just shoot blindly.
More along the lines of this angle here.
Not saying that this is the case here.
And it came in, struck Charlie, and then exited out here in the front. So right here, guys, this is the footage I wanted to show you. So you can see here in this video. Now, could this be anything? Could this be something flying off Charlie? Could this be a piece of flesh, a piece of bone? Yeah, it could be for sure. But it is just curious that it happens right at the moment after Charlie is hit, and you can see that piece coming out of his neck. So you can clearly see something traveling between Charlie's legs that many people are speculating is a projectile. So again, you can see that streak by right there, multiple frames of this video. And I do believe that is most likely that streak by right people are speculating is a projectile. So again, you can see that streak by right there, multiple frames of this video. And I do believe that is most likely the projectile, because it correlates with everything else that we've seen. So it's hard to tell if it's actually closer to the camera than we're seeing. But it does beg the question, why were there pavers installed in the location where Charlie was sitting, like immediately, like the next day after the shooting happened? It's just, again, another piece of information for you guys to take and chew on, and just ask the question, why, if there is any potential there's a second shooter, if there's any potential there may be still a projectile in the dirt around where Charlie was sitting, why in the world are we putting pavers down? The beautification of the campus can wait until the investigation's over. People who say that you cannot catch bullets on an iPhone or at a frame rate of 30 or 60 frames per second, that is just not true, okay? I understand the science behind it, but in reality, especially something like this, something moving this slow after it's exited a target, a medium of sorts, a fluid target, we've had plenty of videos you can find online of showing projectiles punching through, you know, whether it be jugs of water or ballistics gel, and you can see them travel on after they pass through the medium. And in this case, I'll show you guys a video. You can see the bullets flying, right? It depends on the angle of the sun. If the bullets just catch it just right, it is certainly possible to see. Now, obviously what people are saying is that the bullet would be a streak, not a dot, okay? Again, not trying to prove or disprove anything, just another piece of information for you guys. This is a subsonic 300 blackout for your information, traveling approximately 1,000 to 1,050 feet per second. Okay, 220 grain pill. So you can see it clear as day on a regular camera that I'm filming on right now. It's filming at 60 frames per second. It's not a high-speed camera whatsoever, but I'll show you. Let's see if I can see the POV footage of it. So again, is it possible? Absolutely, it is possible that that bullet was caught on camera. It's also very possible it was not caught on camera. So one last thing I want to cover, guys, is FBI Director Kash Patel put out this tweet, and this was on September 21st, so 3 days ago as of filming this video. He says, as director of the FBI, I am committed to ensuring the investigation into Charlie Kirk's assassination is thorough and exhaustive, pursuing every lead to its conclusion. So right here he goes into, we are meticulously investigating theories and questions, including the location of where the shot was taken. Okay? So everyone who's asking me, why am I questioning it? Here you have the actual FBI director questioning this as well, okay? The possibility of accomplices, text message confession and related conversations, Discord chats, angle of the shot, and bullet impact. Again, these are all things that we're talking about, and he's coming out and saying the FBI is investigating it as well, which is promising, but when you have things like the medical examiner coming out and saying that he was the man of steel, I kind of lose faith right away, because if that's the official narrative, then my God, we have some problems in this country. So I wanted to take this moment and take this opportunity to thank every single one of you for being here, seeking the truth, seeking justice for Charlie Kirk and for this country, really. I think a lot of us took it personally when they killed him, because that could have been any of us, in fact. And assassinating Charlie Kirk was a direct attack on the First Amendment, in my opinion, and that needs to be protected at all costs. But I also want to take a moment to say whoever did it wanted to sow division and distrust and paranoia in our country, make people think twice about speaking out, speaking their mind, and having conversations. And so I think now more than ever, it is super important to protect free speech. It is super important to protect all of our civil rights instead of giving up our rights for the illusion of safety and chasing the enemy that we've made in our own mind or our algorithms had made against us. And just remember that Charlie Kirk believed in Jesus Christ, and I do as well. And Jesus Christ preaches the message of loving thy neighbor. So I think it's super important to try to get closer to Christ, try to forgive people, try to have some nuance, and try to be the best person that you can be for yourself, for your family, for your country. With that being said, guys, I love every single one of you. Thank you so much for...
So that was an update from Ray, Range Day Bro. Check out his content if you enjoyed that. I guess he's a YouTube gun guy. But his was the first video I caught on that was alleging that the bullet might have come from behind. Interesting stuff. I mean, there's so many different camera angles. You'd think it would be something that we could put to rest, but oh, you can talk political because like who's on the right side. One of y'all are talking political stance, the other's talking physical. But I think I'm gonna leave off with that one. We might circle back to what did you guys have me look up here? Text plays.
Being a real extra, bud.
I'm actually not. I'm just trying to be an ally for women. If there's any women in here, by the way, I got your back. Kakishimo.
Yes. Oh dear God, you're one of those. Okay. Shut up.
Okay. See, that's the problem. When I come in and try to be an advocate for women, everybody has a problem with it. It's because there's a bunch of freaking.
No one's against women. I don't think they need you to advocate for them, though. You just talking. You out there holding the sign and nobody cares.
Just say you don't care about women.
You came out here popping up. No, you came here popping up with me and my friends, and we ain't said shit to you. Shut the fuck up.
So you don't care about women. Confirmed.
Shut up. No, shut the fuck up.
Report.
Confirmed.
I'm done. Man, I'm not even up hearing this.
I love that flame edit.
Yeah, you're hearing this correctly, Tactics. The sad thing is, you think I'm gonna do something like this just to get into a woman's pants? You're crazy, dude.
I also no one said any of that. No one said any
What?
of that. I just thought you were talking.
You think I'm gonna do this just to get into your sister's pants? Is that what you think I'm gonna do?
That never crossed my mind.
You think I'm gonna do this just to get inside your sister's pants? Really? That's the kind of guy you think I am?
Oh wow, this guy's a professional. It looks like we got a professional rage baiter. I love it. And he's got the shining guns, he's got the Akatsuki, the red clouds. I'm loving this channel. I already subscribed, guys. Recommended by y'all. And I'm glad. The text plays. Alright.
Oh man.
Who are you? I mean, hey, but I don't know who you are.
Oh, okay, yeah, you definitely sound like a guy that hates women. Cool.
What the How did okay, don't come up in here starting all that booze, man. What are you talking about?
We will circle back to the more serious subjects later on tonight. I'll do my next stream after I get some rest. My brain's just not in it right now.
Dude, I could just tell by your attitude immediately, bro.
All right, here we hey, chill, man. We chilling right now. We chilling, man. Chill.
No, man, that was a really aggressive response. I just said hi, and you were like, "What are you talking to, woman?" I'm not even a woman. Imagine how he talks to a woman.
I said what's up.
Imagine how he talks to a woman. I love the way this dude's baiting. This is great.
Say what's up.
You being real extra, bud.
I'm actually not. I'm just trying to be an ally for women. If there's any women in here, by the way, I got your back. Kakishimo.
Yes. Oh dear God, you're one of those.
Okay. Shut up.
Okay, see, that's the problem. When I come in and try to be an advocate for women, everybody has a problem with it. It's because there's a bunch of freaking.
No one's against women.
I don't
you
think
just
they
here talking
need you
for
to
no
advocate
reason.
for them, though.
You just talking. You out there holding the sign and nobody cares.
That's actually not true.
You outside a Pizza Hut and it's you in front of a Burger King. That's what you look like right now. Calm down.
I would
Calm
never protest in front of Pizza Hut, but okay.
This motherfucker talking about advocating for women and nobody's even. This motherfucker crazy as shit. I was
for real.
Crazy.
No, I can tell you got that energy like you just women. But
you got that energy.
I
didn't know that
don't
was
even
a
swat
thing.
flies, but I do. But I'm sure that be.
Oh, but you do, yeah, exactly. So you're also a manipulator and a liar. Got it.
Are you projecting?
Yeah,
Are you okay?
He's definitely projecting.
Yo, Kishimo, I'm here to protect you if you need it, but if not, I won't.
You sound like you might be projecting. Are you beating women at home?
No, why would I?
Are you beating your mommy?
No, I'm actually an advocate. You should know that.
You sound like you might be.
I'm actually an advocate. I like to take care of women and make sure they're safe. And this should be a Call of Duty should be a safe space for safe space for women, and it's not.
Oh my God.
Okay, you know what? Okay, hold on.
Take a deep breath.
Everybody stop.
Arrange your thoughts.
We about to kill
in the
this
right
shit
way.
right now. We about to kill this shit right now.
Are you with these guys?
Ling, do you feel safe? Ling, do you feel safe?
I 100% am safe.
Okay, he has nothing else to say. He should not talk.
No, that's actually not true. I can tell you're not a safe guy to be around. Do you know these girls? Do you know this guy in real life, or what's the deal?
What?
Oh,
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Yes, I
Ling
do.
is a grown woman. Yo,
You know this guy in real life? Are you sure you want me to? Are you safe? Are you cool here? I just want to make sure.
I don't know you in real life. I'm
I know.
more scared of you than them, for
Oh,
sure.
you shouldn't be afraid of me. I'm actually the safest person
You
you
sound
could
a
be
little
around.
too involved.
Oh, I was
No,
just-
you sound like a fucking Ted Bundy type, 100%. Please get in my car, head ass. What the fuck?
No,
Chris Hansen, where you at?
I don't.
Chris Hansen.
I don't know who those people are, but honestly,
Why don't you
What
just
are you
take a
doing
seat
here?
right here?
Why you got condoms and an Xbox controller in your backpack? Shut up.
dude, see the way you just told me to shut up. That sounds like something you would say to a woman in a relationship. I've dealt with this so many times.
How many kids you got, bud? None?
I don't have any kids.
Exactly, because
Exactly.
you've never been
You
with
know
a
what?
woman.
You want to know
You
why I
suck.
don't have any kids? I'll tell you
Jesus
why.
Let me guess. He shoots blanks.
Because I'm afraid to bring a man into this world, and I know that sounds crazy, but it's the reality of our world that we live in.
You shouldn't be
Because you don't know
afraid
how
if
to
you
raise
know
a
how
man
to raise
being a
them.
man?
No, I could raise a man, but I'm afraid that he would be raised by other men as well, which is typically what
Did a
happens in
man
society.
you? Is
Then
that why
you
you're
failed.
like this?
No.
What
You
the
failed
fuck?
raising
You know
them.
what happened to me? Yeah, my dad used to beat me because he was a toxic man.
You got raised by your uncle because he touched you?
No, I didn't have any uncles.
Don't come out here talking about that, because we'll cook you for that. We ain't therapists, so we'll fuck you up.
We're gonna cook you for being abused. Oh my gosh, this is great.
So don't come up with that shop.
That's
Don't come
interesting
over
that
here
a
with that
man would be that
No, I'll
aggressive.
beat you like your dad.
Exactly.
What kind of belt did he use? Because I'll do that shit too to shut you the fuck up.
Exactly.
Don't come around here and Call of Duty with that soft shit, nigga. We don't give a fuck.
It's not
Shut up.
soft. It's actually just
We don't
caring
give
for
a yes
women.
it is. Cry. Shut up. Clean that fat ass. Shut up.
So you don't care about women?
No.
Just say you don't care about women.
You came out here popping off. No, you came here popping off with me and my friends, and we ain't said shit to you. Shut the fuck up.
So you don't care about women. Confirmed.
Shut up. No, shut the fuck up.
Hates
Confirmed.
women. Confirmed.
Stop advocating for women. Shut up. Get your asshole plugged the fuck out. Nigga. Shut up.
What?
Oh, shit.
Hey, Kishimo, could you tell your friend to calm down, please?
Plug his butt.
I don't know where that player
Plug
is at.
his butt.
Whenever I've played with girls on my team in Call of Duty, other players act so weird. Whether they're on my team or they're the opponent's team or they're, an opposing team, when they hear a woman's voice on the mic, so many dudes on Call of Duty just start acting differently.
No, don't plug my butt. See, that's the problem, man. It's always sexual.
God, I got somebody, yo.
It's always sexual with you guys. Unreal, man.
I'm not your dad,
There's
so it's
one
not.
man
Shut
heading
up.
towards our spawn.
I'm glad you're not my dad. If you were my dad, I'd have you arrested.
You're not my dad.
You're lucky my dad
You're not
left
my-
because I would have had him arrested too. He's lucky.
What?
Come on, Call of. We don't feel bad. Like, this is Call of Duty. We don't give a. You better better stop with all that soft. You get cooked and never play this game
It's
again.
not soft to care about women. Excuse me for caring. Hey, Mother Big Back, are you safe?
Mother Big Back.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not really sure that you're safe, so
Wait, is
I'm
that-
just letting you know if you ever
I wish I was streaming
excuse me, Big Tactic.
Wait, is that her name?
Back, are you safe?
Okay, that is her name, I think.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I'll be right back.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not really sure that you're safe, so I'm just letting you know if you ever
I wish I was streaming
excuse me, Big Tactics, if you ever feel unsafe, just let me know and I'll be there for you. I'm an ally, okay?
You ain't my ally. You just call me Big Tactics. We ain't no ally. No, get away from me.
I'm not your ally. I'm here for the women, not you, sir.
Coming to the back door.
You don't need anything from me. Only thing you need from me is a punch in the tooth.
Why did you
Punch in the tooth.
for him then?
Dude, I'm the kind of guy that girls call whenever they feel unsafe in the car and they can't get out, and I have to freaking get on the speakerphone and tell whoever's following them to leave them alone. And it's always toxic men like you.
Oh, you that snake that I sent that bitch off to before I needed her. I got you. You good, man. You good, player.
Actually,
Alright.
I'm not in a relationship, so nice try.
I could tell.
They
We
had
all
one of
knew
those
that.
things
You
like
didn't
in
have to-
Shameless, right? Called the
Yeah.
walker. He would like.
Can you stop talking over her, bro, and let her talk, please? Go ahead, Kashima. What
I
were you saying?
love the. Oh my god.
Bro, Jesus Christ.
What were you saying, Kashima? I want to give you space to hear what you were saying. I just wanted to make sure you have adequate.
This tactic he's using has actually been used on me before in real life from a manipulator who was trying, like a scammer who's trying to get money from me and my girl at the time. And I remember I basically shut him down. I was like, bro, I don't have any money for you. Sorry. And I accidentally said her name. And once I said her name, the guy, it clicked and he started using her name, and like he kept using her name. It's like a manipulation tactic, right? And I'm like, yo, let's go. And then he starts stepping up and be like, oh, this is between me and her. She can make her own decision. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, oh, really? I said, okay. And I was like, you go hand that dude all your money if you want. I'm going inside. And then the guy, oh yeah, I'll have to tell you guys the story. It's a funny story. He went off on me and then told me I wasn't black or something, and it was great. It was great, but it's a similar tactic. It worked on her a bit, you know. Some people it just works on.
Talk, please. Go ahead, Kashima. What were you saying?
Bro, Jesus Christ.
What were you saying, Kashima? I want to give you space to hear what you were saying. I just wanted to make sure you have adequate time and space to say what you need to say without men interrupting you. Go ahead.
My God,
Brother
I
might
bet
be a
you're
little
an easy
retarded.
man to beat, bro.
A beat? No.
I could beat the shit out of you. Yeah, you could be abused very easily.
Actually, I'm a pretty big guy, but okay. Why would you try to beat me?
You don't even shit. You just pissed.
Honestly, you probably could, because I wouldn't defend myself from a woman because I wouldn't want to hit a woman. But honestly, if it was a man, none of these guys could beat me up. That's for sure. I'm actually really strong.
Yeah,
Definitely
you know what?
lets women hit him.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, well,
You're right.
okay, Big
You know what?
Tactics. How big are you, big guy? How big are you, big man?
Stop calling me Big Tactics. Stop calling me Big Tactics.
Big
I
Tactics?
swear to God.
How big are you, big boy? I'm 5'8".
Bug boy.
I'm 5'8".
Bug boy.
Bug. Oh, get him. Sorry. Bug. Get him. Let's go.
Bug boy.
Yeah, what is this, high school? Let's make fun of Tex because it's high school again and he stutters. Okay.
I
don't have this. I need call-outs. How many's left?
Oh.
Yeah, you
Mother
got
Big
two
Back,
left.
my bad.
Yo, Mother Big Back, honestly, again, if you ever feel unsafe by these guys, just let me know and I literally will take care of this.
Mother Big Back, we got space if you
She
want to join
feels
the team without him.
uncomfortable for you just saying that.
No, she doesn't. Okay, Mother Big Back, would you tell these guys you feel safe around me as an ally, please?
I don't
Mother
know
Big Back
anyone
hasn't
here,
said
so
shit.
Exactly.
And I
She's
doubt
about to
that
join
she's
us,
going
right?
to.
I think I heard her say that she feels safe,
I'm
but okay.
just saying, like, this is a long
I feel like you
conversation.
can't
Somebody
go
with
near
the name
playground,
Mother Big
otherwise
Back.
Big
You're not
Tactics,
allowed to play
Big
with you.
Tactics, let the women speak. Gosh, dude, you're being such a freaking pig.
Hey, what started all of this? 'Cause
Lord
holy
have
shit.
mercy. Who beat
Yeah,
him? He
but
was a
he just
child.
came
Told him,
out of
don't
nowhere."
speak when I'm speaking. Don't speak when the adults are speaking.
Well, I just want to give women the space to speak if they
was
want
a good
to,
kill.
because men always try to oppress them and take their speaking rights away. So I wanted to give you.
There's one in
Tell me you
our
got a lot
squad.
without telling me you got
4-3.
one.
Okay, right.
Oh my god, yeah, we have to check out some more of this dude's content.
So because I respect women and love them and do anything for them, now I don't have a penis. All right, cool, got it.
I didn't say you didn't. You did that.
You just said that.
To the right, in the corner.
You just said that. You just said that.
Up underneath you.
You're not gonna gaslight me, buddy. No way. You can gaslight all the women in your life, but not me. Sorry. You can gaslight women all you want, but I cannot be gaslit.
Is that hardcore or something? The time to kill is so fast.
Anyways.
Look at me. I didn't even know what I was talking about.
Now you're good. Hey, you're playing great, Mother Big Bag. You keep it up, okay? I'm proud of you.
Oh, it is hardcore. Okay.
Didn't say anything back.
Okay, Big Tactics.
Shooting them like 2 times and they're falling.
For real.
Stop calling me
That's
big
some predators.
You're trying to be like cool and stuff and like front of the girls, but honestly, they're never gonna want you,
No,
bro.
I'm being honest with you. You gotta calm down. You
Listen,
sound like a fucking-
hey, this Kishimo girl, she's never gonna want you, man. I'm sorry. She knows that you're not a man.
That's my sister. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
For real, you're weird as fuck.
So that's your sister, and you're not gonna protect your own sister? Unreal, dude. I don't have time for this.
Can handle her own. You're the one.
But yeah, I was
You know
about
what?
to say,
Listen,
a
we're
lot of
both
females
here
can
bullying
handle
you.
their own. Like, I know, I'm not trying to like say anything, but I beat the shit out of multiple men who thought they were something. I mean, I kind of.
I would beat them with you.
got my own shit going.
I would beat them with you.
if you gave me the opportunity to show you how good I am at being 11 women.
I'm done. Man, is anyone else hearing this? Yo, am I in a hole too?
No, does she have me muted? Hold on. Oh no, I have her muted still.
Yeah, you're hearing this correctly, Tactics.
Yo, Big Bag's cool. She's cool. I don't know about this other motherfucker. Big Bag's cool. You couldn't meet her.
I can't believe that's your sister, bro.
Yeah, Big
I
Bag,
was
do you
like,
support this guy?
Look, I believe everyone has their own reasoning for things, but there's times I'm like, you're doing a little too much.
A little too much.
Thank you, Big Bag.
If she's talking about
It's
you right
1-3.
now, Tex.
I agree. Thank you, Big Bag. I
We have
appreciate
room
you
for you
supporting
on
the
our
cause.
team, Big Bag.
I got my fist up right now for the cause. I really appreciate that, Big Bag. That means a lot to me.
I just, like, I'm not one to judge. I mean, to each your own.
Yeah.
He wins them. He's winning them over. I love it.
Is she simping for him? Are
No,
they
she's
simping
not
for each other
simping.
right now?
No, she's just being a nice
Baby,
woman.
No, listen, I am married with 5 kids. I don't give a shit what's going on here. I'm just...
5?
Yeah. The sad thing is, you think I'm gonna do something like this just to get into a woman's pants? You're crazy, dude.
I also
No one
feel
said
like...
any of that. No one said anything. I just thought you were talking.
You think I'm gonna do this just to get into your sister's pants? Is that what you think I'm gonna do?
That never crossed my mind.
You think I'm gonna do this just to get inside your sister's pants? Really? That's the kind of guy you think I am?
My sister would beat the fuck out of you.
No, she wouldn't.
For 5 real. She a gangster.
No,
my
she
sister
wouldn't.
would beat the fuck out of you.
No, she
Robin
wouldn't.
will beat the fuck out of you.
No, she wouldn't.
Yes, she would. I swear to God. Robin will beat the fuck out of you. You have no idea.
Her name's Robin. Her name's Robin. That's a really pretty name.
Oh, that was the mistake. No, you can't say their name.
That's a really pretty name, Robin.
I'll beat the fuck out of you for saying some dumb shit like that.
Yo, you shouldn't have said her name. Oh, Lord.
Hey, don't ever say that shit again.
I didn't
He's
say
going to keep saying her name, isn't he?
anything. I just said she has a really pretty name. She has a pretty voice and everything.
Okay, yeah. I bet in prison you got a pretty mouth.
Oh!
Friends.
Kakashimo, I just want you to know, Robin, you have a really pretty voice, and I'm not trying to do this just to like get with you. But you should know that like I'm a really good guy, and honestly, you would be very fortunate to be my girlfriend. So whatever.
Oh, he's still going on.
Yeah.
He really.
So whatever.
No, you would be fortunate to be my girlfriend, but you know it's up to you. Honestly, whatever. My DMs are open.
my God.
He's trying to get girlfriends and shit out here. What the-
No, I'm not. Or you know what? Forget you then. Oh, Big Back. I know you're a mom or
You
whatever.
can find a girlfriend on Grindr the way you sound.
I need a mom
You
too,
can find a
so
girlfriend on Grindr.
I just want to let you know I'm an advocate for you and just you. So if you want to be with me, just send me a DM.
What?
Yo, good.
You're lonely as fuck. You're
Well, there you go.
All right, that was good. That was good. That was funny. He's a quality troll, I have to say. Rage baiter. We're gonna give him a like. Text plays. I think that was a good note to leave it off on. But I didn't want to leave it off on the assassination stuff. It's a pretty heavy note. But y'all, I'm super tired. I need to close my eyes for a few minutes, get in my cryogenics tube, sleep for a bit, and then we're going to fire up the stream again. It's going to be great. Appreciate y'all for hanging out at the black hole. Don't get too close or you will get sucked in if you haven't already. you know, you could double tap the screen. I'd appreciate it. You could hit the sub button. That'd be nice. Tonight or later on, probably get into some news. And then I might do some Fallout. I might do some more Fallout 4. I don't know. Fallout 4, Zomboid. I haven't decided yet. If Crystal's on, I might play some Zomboid with her. If you guys want to play Zomboid or like multiplayer games, join the Discord. That way we can link up when I go live, or just drop back in chat when I'm live. Waiting for the black hole sun. Oh man. And claimed. I appreciate y'all.